Pitt losing to Utah. I mean, that right there that sets the stage for the top 25 in all types of shifting. But before I get too crazy,
Yeah.
nah, you were saying
I mean, I was just saying,
the first topic is college football. So I don't know where you're gonna go with that. So
well, like I said, the
I didn't
first
mean to
topic
cut
is
you
college
off.
football. Well, you really meant to. You know,
I really didn't. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, since you didn't mean to cut us off, here's my situation right now with college football. It's starting up. Is it just me, or does it seem like there's never like a big hoopla about, like, people do get excited, but they don't really say, oh, college football starting next week, college football starting in a couple of days, like you see it with the NFL, this hype. Even with college basketball, this hype. It kind of just starts.
No,
You know
I don't think so. I don't get that.
In terms of the main, if you talk about the main, like,
Casual
fan,
maybe you don't.
not the person that's into college football like that.
Well, the casual fan doesn't really get into college football until bowl season, really.
Yeah, that's true.
But not, I obviously more than just a casual fan.
He's wearing a Michigan jersey, people.
I am wearing a Michigan jersey in honor of Michigan beating UConn yesterday.
Yeah, that was a huge team to beat.
See, this is something you get from the casual fan.
If I may interject here, I am speaking as the average fan, and I watch college football sporadically.
Right.
For I guess those big glorified games that they talk about during the week.
Right, the game of the week.
Yeah, I may glance at it. I'm not a big football fan. A lot of my family, because they went down to they were in like the big college schools like Florida and whatnot. So I by affiliation, I'm supposed to be a Gator fan, but
that's blasphemy, sir.
I mean, listen.
In my presence, that is blasphemy.
I understand that it's blasphemy because you're a Miami U.
Yes, I'm a big U fan.
And I have ties to the Miami Hurricanes as well.
That's good.
But I have to go with the Gators because
let me ask you a question.
Okay, that's
fine. The family
fine.
that you have in Florida, how far do they live from Gainesville?
How far do they live from Gainesville? Approximately 4 to 6 hours.
Now, how far do they live from Coral Gables?
Approximately 30 to 45 minutes.
I would say your family is more close to being Miami Hurricanes fans.
I mean, I understand that as far.
Right now. Why don't just let the man be what he want to be?
I understand. I understand that as far as I guess distance wise, but as far as actual getting into the whole college spirit and prep rallies and go Gators go. I have doing the chomp and everything of that nature.
I don't understand how.
And and having family that are alumni now of the Gators. And they're
I don't understand how you could live that close to Miami, especially growing up in the 80s.
Right, you're right.
In the early 90s.
You're right.
You in the 80s, right?
and not be a fan.
I mean, I understand.
This is a team of the ghetto.
This
is the team.
You're absolutely right.
The team of the what?
Of the ghetto. This is Miami in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
As as a lot of people might know, they recruited players from the inner city.
This is true.
That's actually a big.
And that's a reason why a lot of these guys, are alive and not in prison and.
Well, thank you for putting that out.
No, I'm serious.
They could have just turned their lives. They could have just gone for the education.
Really? No one goes to Miami for the education. I'm sorry.
No, they don't.
No.
They definitely don't.
No.
It's like going to Tilden for education. It's just not going to be happening.
We're not going. Tilden was a great institution.
Was. It is now a parking lot.
It had its moments.
Yeah. But all right, getting into college football this week. Obviously, like I said, first Thursday of the week, you had 4 ranked teams going at it. You had Ohio State demolishing Marshall, Miami taking care of FAMU. Yes, FAMU.
Well, FAMU. We talked about this on the way over to the station this morning, and my sister is an alumni now.
A new
She's
new grad
of FAMU.
A&M University.
And they're not really big on their football program or any sports program for that matter. So you're there for educational purposes only.
All right.
So let's just keep it like that.
You're right,
sir. There's no need.
We had USC beating Hawaii in Lane Kiffin's debut as the USC head coach, and we had Utah upsetting number 15 Pittsburgh. The big story there is the Heisman hopeful Deion Lewis was held to 75 yards and 25 carries. That was the big story from that game. Alabama took care of San Jose State. Obviously, Texas taking care of Rice. One thing that I kind of took from was from this Saturday was the new quarterbacks. You have Colt McCoy going to the NFL, Tim Tebow going to the NFL, Sam Bradford going to the NFL. And you see the quarterbacks that are replacing these guys. You had Garrett Gilbert in Texas taking over for Colt McCoy. Gilbert, pretty much just went up and down on Rice. Granted, it was Rice, but they threw 34 points up on them. You look at Florida, it was close in the beginning. John Brantley, I don't think is a great fit for Florida in the sense that you look at Florida in the past few years before Tebow was Chris Leak. They're a spread offense kind of team, and then you kind of bring in John Brantley, who's more of a pocket passer,
right?
And he comes into this spread offense, and they won the game, but he only
okay. That's all I was about to ask you. If they won the game,
but
that's at the end of the day, sir. I'm speaking as the casual fan,
right?
Okay, as the casual fan, as the average fan, all that matters is a W.
You're right.
Okay.
But how many W's are they going to get if he's only putting up 113 yards of
See, that's where team football comes into play, my friend.
Well,
okay, that's where team football.
I guess
and the Gators will come up with a formula that will work for them.
I hope so.
Okay.
Because
I'm very confident in saying that. Okay.
Okay. Listen, they've got enough talent elsewhere. Where if for whatever reason,
everything will balance out.
You're right. If the quarterback isn't playing well, they've got other things to do.
Exactly.
Looking over at Oklahoma, you had Oklahoma. Obviously, with Sam Bradford going to the NFL, you have Landry Jones coming in as a starter. He started a little bit last year when Sam Bradford went down with that shoulder injury. That game was closer than it really should have been. If it wasn't for a late interception, you might have seen another upset. Oklahoma playing Utah State there. Speaking of upsets, you had two of the biggest upsets in the past few years, and obviously so far the biggest of the year. You had Ole Miss taking on Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State's a 1AA team taking on Ole Miss at Ole Miss. Jacksonville State comes into that with playing with reckless abandon, putting up all types of crazy numbers on the scoreboard. Long story short, we're talking about at the end of the game goes to overtime, double overtime. 4th and 15. I don't even know the name of this quarterback from Jacksonville State. 4th and 15 on the run, chucking it to the back of the end zone, hitting the receiver, gets 1 foot in for the touchdown. All you need is a point after to tie the game, and they go for 2. Really gutsy call. The quarterback hits the running back, again, with all types of defenders around him. Hits the running back. He jumps in for the 2-point conversion to win the game. Biggest upset I've seen so far this year, obviously. And going back to last year, I can't remember an upset from last year that really, stuck out in my mind like this. This brings me back to 2 years ago, or I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, when Appalachian State beat Michigan early on in the season. It's really incredible what you're seeing here.
It really is incredible. But it's funny how you said you were surprised with the whole 2-point conversion type thing. I think if you're a team that is the heavy underdog, how they always do in the beginning of the year. They always have the big time schools face the underdog so they can try to build up their win total to make it look good for BCS, whatever crap. That's go for it, man. Go for yours.
Absolutely,
go for yours, man.
That right there is the definition of a cupcake win for Ole Miss, and they went in there, and listen, there's no excuse for losing to that kind of team. I'm sorry.
Well, the team was ready. They were game. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you have to look at it.
Right.
I feel like the first game of the year in any sport, it doesn't matter who's the underdog, who's the favorite, because you haven't played a game yet. It's always a preseason polls. You got to actually play a game and see where the teams are. Remember when Michigan was they was a highly ranked team when they lost to Appalachian State.
Number 5 in the country at the time.
Number 5 in the country, and I believe they lost a couple of games that year. It was like a huge breakdown year for them.
That was the year they went, I think, 6-5.
Yeah, they went 6-5 that year. So it really showed that preseason poll really didn't mean much.
Well,
because it wasn't like it was a fluke that Appalachian State beat them.
Going to the year before, Michael Hart's going into his 4th year, Heisman candidate. You could make the case for them being a top 5 team, but at the same time, obviously losing to Appalachian State, no excuse. Another big upset, North Dakota State. It wasn't as big as Ole Miss, but North Dakota State beating Kansas, I thought was another big upset that people should pay attention to. I mean, not too much. Looking around the country early on, and obviously the end of the score doesn't really hold much weight. But early on, you had Stony Brook and taking on South Florida. At the end of the first quarter, the game was tied 14-14. Now Stony Brook, it has to be the only school we could say at this point, in terms of the games that were played yesterday, you could say is local.
Yeah.
I mean, Rutgers is the only local school we really have. They played on Thursday, took care of Norfolk State, and they took care of business. But Stony Brook, you got to give them credit. They hung in there for a little while, but South Florida just showed how much better than they are. They, obviously.
Well, here's the thing: when you got teams like Stony Brook and South Florida, like Stony Brook, I forgot they have a football team. That just shows how great they've been.
Right.
You can't really make a big deal out of them. It's I don't know. Like we're really local football in the city. Not much there besides Rutgers.
You're right.
It's not really much to get excited about. If you're a fan of college football, if you're from here, you're usually a fan of the teams that you usually see in the BCS, the Miamis, the Michigans, the Ohio States. Now, you think that's a problem with the New York City schools? Are we paying too much attention?
It's not.
There's not, because the football, it seems like you see more football programs getting cut. Like Hofstra was just cut. You see more of that.
Hofstra was never a 1A team. They've been 1AA for a while, and before that they were Division 2. So it's not. I don't think it's a. I mean, are you saying are you asking me if it's a problem with
I feel like
colleges? Or?
I feel like just they're not doing a good job of recruiting the players that are from New York to stay in New York. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it seems like to be the issue.
If you're a top prospect from New York, and you have to choose between going to Stony Brook.
Well, of course, look. Of course, you're going to choose like Ohio State if you have those choices. But here's the thing: what are the New York City schools doing? Not New York City, just New York. New York in general doing to keep these players. What type of teams are they really putting together here? You understand what I'm saying? They need, like, for example, if there was like a big name coach, like a Bobby Bowden said he was going to coach. I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
If there was a big name coach that said he wanted to coach in New York, right?
Right.
That would bring recruits because they want to play for that guy. They have, you understand what I'm saying? We don't have that in New York. We just have, you got this team, they got that team.
Let's not forget, honest. New York primarily is like, in terms of producing players, New York is a basketball city. Even
with basketball, they're not staying in New York.
Well, that's because the local teams aren't that good anymore.
But that's the problem in all sports across the whole.
I'm glad you brought this up, because Steve Lavin, who obviously is, has taken over as the head coach of St. John's, has started to bring in some pretty good recruits. I mean, I'll look it up now, but I forget the kid's name. But he brought in a pretty good recruit, and this is on top of he's got 9 scholarships to work with. I think Steve Lavin is on his way to bringing St. John's back to where it was at one point. Maybe not all the way, right away, but I think over time, if all it takes a little bit of patience. I mean, you look at Hofstra. I mean, you look at Fordham. So a lot of these coaches, are doing exactly what you're saying. They're keeping local guys. Tom Pecora is one of the great recruiters in the New York area, and he's who I wanted as the head coach of St. John's. But St. John's obviously went with the sexier pick, with the UCLA guy, with the.
But it was a very sexy pick. You have to admit that.
With the more national,
You don't think that was a good pick? It was a very sexy. It was attractive.
No. Listen, don't get me wrong.
He had his moments.
I like Steve Lavin. I like Steve Lavin as a coach. I liked him when he was at UCLA. But personally, I think what New York teams need are New York guys that understand players from here, guys like Tom Pecora, who grew up, in the area and played basketball here and has coached basketball here and knows the city and knows the school, has relationships with the coaches. Even the head coach for Georgia Tech has a relationship with New York high school coaches, and I think that's what you need. I mean, how are you going to get the players from Rice if you don't have some sort of relationship with the head coach at Rice? How are you going to get guys from the top schools, where Lincoln might have attended? I mean, listen, I've heard stories about Grady, not a bad basketball school at all.
Or what about as an academic institution? I'm just saying.
Listen. We're not talking about that right now. We're not talking about that. But no, my point is, I think for basketball, it's a little bit easier to keep some of these guys because a lot of these college coaches understand these players and where they come from. Football's a little bit different because football's not it's not, we don't even have a professional team in New York. Our professional team plays in Jersey.
And you know what? That's actually
and New Jersey has better prospects than New York does anyway.
And that's actually a good segue as to what we're going on now with the NFL. The Giants and Jets kick off their seasons next week. The actual season kicks off this Thursday with the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Now, Brett Favre is in the picture, so ratings, they're excited. What are you expecting now? This is the final, we always gave our expectations. Like last week, we always say how many games they're going to win and all this other stuff. Right now, looking at the team, the final cuts and everything that was made, what are you looking at for this team, the Giants? What are you looking at?
What you saw from the final preseason game, you saw, especially with the first team offense, you saw a very sharp offense. I mean, Brandon Jacobs can sit here and cry all he wants about not being a starter and being the number 2 guy, but at the same, what you saw was a more fluid offense with Ahmad Bradshaw.
Yeah.
What you saw was a faster paced offense. I don't know what Eli Manning's completion percentage was, but it was very good. I mean, whatever it was that makes the team go with Bradshaw in and Jacobs out, that's what they need to do.
But you see Bradshaw now starting.
Right. And I think it's a great idea. I don't know what Jacobs' problem is, but he thinks he's Barry Sanders all of a sudden. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. Jacobs thinks he's Barry Sanders, cutting. He's not, like we said, he's not an east-west guy. He's a north-south guy. He's a guy who's supposed to hit the hole and, just run downhill and just run over guys, and he's not doing that. But with Ahmad Bradshaw, he's not afraid to do that, especially being a smaller guy. I don't understand what Jacobs is thinking. The guy, he's 6'4", 265, bigger than all the defensive backs in the league, bigger than some linebackers, bigger than some defensive linemen, and he's tiptoeing in the hole. What are you doing? What's wrong with you?
That's funny. You said Barry Sanders. I was thinking more Walter Payton. I was going to call him Big Sweetness. Can't call him Big Sweetness?
No.
Well, I don't feel comfortable with calling any grown man Big Sweetness.
You don't think Big Sweetness is a good name?
Sorry.
No?
That'll be the last time you ever hear me put those 2 words together in a sentence.
No, we can't do that.
I'll go back to tweeting now.
The Big Sweet?
No, not the Big Sweet. You were talking about the Giants cuts, and like you said, I mean, we made the trade for Sage Rosenfels. They also brought in Renaud as a wide receiver. He's going to be returning punts and kickoffs so that Bradshaw.
Did they cut Cruz?
No.
They kept him?
Yeah.
Told you
See, okay. He was telling me in the car, and
I was telling him last week. I was
I
like that guy. Cruz.
I liked him because I never really thought he had much of a chance. Because every time,
why?
Let's be honest. Whenever you watch the NFL preseason, there's always one guy that gets off, and then they end up cutting him anyway. Let's be honest. Isn't that true?
Well, that was Brett Bowman.
What the trending topic
that is true.
In the NFL right now?
What?
They're cutting big name wide receivers.
Yes, they are.
Okay?
Yes, they are. Yeah, your boy. There's a couple of your boys out there. TJ Houshmandzada's out there.
Javon Walker.
He just got cut again.
Yep.
They just brought him in.
Well, hey, he got cut.
Oh, your boy.
But among some of the Giants cuts, I mean, some of these are expected. Obviously, Dominic Randolph, Dennis Landau, Jim Cordell, Nate Collins, Sharif Rashad, Gartrell Johnson.
Yeah.
Andre Brown was the only shock to me, honestly.
I never thought Gartrell Johnson was any good. Sorry.
Well, I mean, he was just a training camp body. I mean, Andre Brown, Alex Hall. I mean, the biggest shock to me in terms of the cuts for the Giants was Derek Hagan, Guy Wimper, and Jay Alford. Who,
Super Bowl, yeah. So he had that big hit on Manning. I remember.
The big hit on the big sack on Tom Brady.
I mean, not Manning, Brady. I'm sorry, yeah.
So I mean, coming back from ACL surgery stuff. I mean, it's a decision you got to make. Linval Joseph is just that much better than he was, especially in training camp. That's the way it is. A lot of these cuts make sense. Courtney Brown getting cut doesn't surprise anybody.
You know what I love about when they do these cuts and they always go to the coach and they give you the same generic answer. Well, we were doing what's best for our team. When you ask that question as like a media person, would you really expect a different answer? You know what I'm saying? Do you really expect I hate him? You know, like somebody to really come out and say that. Like, let's be honest. I always thought that's kind of funny when they make those statements.
Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Every year they do that. And speaking of big cuts, what's his name? Liner, your boy Liner. Matt Liner. I was about to call him Mike Liner.
Yeah.
That was about to be a nickname.
That's not his name.
Mike Liner.
That's not his name.
Could be it would have been a better name. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm not his father.
And we were talking about this before the show. I was talking about this with Lincoln. Lincoln, you said you don't agree with the trade.
Yeah, you said he doesn't agree with the trade. He's shaking his head because he can't talk right now.
He can't talk.
He doesn't have a microphone.
That's
quite unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
You don't notice these things.
So I'll be doing most of the talking here. You said that you disagreed with the cutting of Matt Leinart. I say to you this: Aaron Rodgers was in the same situation. Aaron Rodgers was brought in to be the backup at one point to Brett Favre, to learn under Brett Favre, one of the, if not the greatest quarterback in NFL history, one of the best. And in his time on the bench behind Brett Favre, he learned, he watched, he took notes, and obviously he's become a very productive quarterback in the NFL.
Yes.
Matt Leinart gets drafted, and they bring in Kurt Warner to kind of tutor him, the same way Kurt Warner, tutored Eli Manning for even though it was short-lived, but he did help him out. Now, why is it that Aaron Rodgers could have learned from Brett Favre with less weapons, mind you, but Matt Leinart can't learn a thing from Kurt Warner?
I got the answer for you. Matt Leinart went to USC, and they're not paying him enough in the NFL.
I've heard that a lot over the past couple of days.
That's what I'm going with.
No, but
it's
listen,
true.
I don't understand how
better contract there.
I don't understand how. Yeah, I don't understand how And listen, you can't deny that the supporting cast offensively isn't somewhat better than, or at least at one point was somewhat better than what Aaron Rodgers had or has in Green Bay. In better weather conditions. I mean, come on. What sense is? I mean, you've got Early Doucette, Steve Breston, Larry Fitzgerald. At one point, Anquan Boldin before the trade. Come on, you telling me you can't put together some kind of you can't salvage your career with that kind of team? And you let guys like Derek Anderson come off the street.
Here's the thing, Derek Anderson.
Starting position.
Derek Anderson is no good. I never liked him anyway.
Pro bowler.
What?
He made the Pro Bowl.
He made
with the Browns.
Great. He made the Pro Bowl. So did David Garrard.
David Garrard is a productive quarterback.
The year he made it. He is not that good. I'm sorry. He's one of those quarterbacks I feel like you could do without.
If you can make the Pro Bowl out of the AFC, you're
wasn't that the year that they had so many people that said they didn't want to play?
Listen.
Was he like the alternate? He was like the fifth alternate.
If you can make,
I'm just saying,
the Pro Bowl as a quarterback in the AFC, I think you're productive. You're better than mediocre.
I disagree. It's nothing about David Garrard I like, but we're not going to talk about David Garrard right now.
You don't like him because he has Crohn's disease.
What?
That's what it is.
I didn't even know that he had Crohn's disease. That's a lot. But
that's why you don't like
Matt Leinart. In my opinion, his game never really was going to translate well in the NFL because
he played a pro-style offense at USC.
He played a pro-style offense at USC, but is it working? Anyway.
Why didn't it work? Why didn't it work for Carson Palmer then?
Sir, can I finish? All I'm saying is that he could play a pro-style offense in whatever. He never had that great an arm. Never had that great an arm. You try to have you ever seen him really throw a bullet to anybody? Have you?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because he doesn't thread the needle.
You got a guy like that. Had a great arm.
If I may interject again, as a casual, average fan, when he throws the ball, he only throws it about 3 yards.
Thank you.
In the air.
He never threads the needle.
Chad Pennington has a weak arm. That doesn't make him.
Chad Pennington threw it to his own teammates.
So that's not a question about his arm. That's a question about his accuracy.
Well, then obviously there's something wrong if he ain't got a great arm and he doesn't have great accuracy.
I'm not saying Matt Leinart is great. I'm not.
Then what are you saying?
I'm just saying
he had a pro-style offense.
No, you said how he didn't translate well.
He did.
How did it not translate well if he played the same sort of offense in college than he did in the NFL?
Two reasons. One, it was college football. You're playing against a whole bunch of people. It's college. I always say it's a different level of the game is in college. It's not as intense as the NFL. That's one.
I agree with you.
And two, USC, they paid him better. I keep telling you this. There's more incentive there.
You have to say allegedly. Those type of allegations.
You can't just throw that kind of stuff out there.
All right. I'm sorry.
You see what happened with Reggie Bush?
Right. Allegedly. I'm not under their payroll. I don't know.
You see, exactly. I'm not on their payroll either. I wish I was though. Yeah.
Allegedly.
My point is this: you're talking about arm strength. If arm strength is such an issue, why hasn't arm strength obviously been an issue for Chad Pennington? If you talk about college to the NFL, come on.
Look, all I'm saying is that he's not that great. I don't know who's gonna pick him up. He'll make one heck of a second stringer. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't even put him there. I put him third.
I think Seattle should pick him up, reunite him with Mike Williams and Pete Carroll. I think that'd
be very interesting. What we're going to do is step aside for a moment. You're listening to Keep It Real Sports here on Chat Battle Radio, powered by CBS Radio.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Knight. With 2 months to go before the midterm elections.
It is about the economy, anger with Washington generally, and the Democrats are in the majority. That's very difficult to overcome for the Democrats. It may be unfair, but that's just the way politics are in America.
CBS News political analyst James Thurber. President Obama's 2008 campaign manager David Plouffe on NBC's Meet the Press today.
This is a turbulent political environment. We have big majorities, so of course we're going to give some of that back. But I think we can maintain control in both chambers.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, also on NBC, was asked, will Democrats lose control of the House?
Yes, I think if the election were held tomorrow, it would be. There's a couple of months to go, and at the end of the day, I don't know what their agenda is going to be between now and November, but what they've done in the past, no one seems to like.
The New York Times reports today that Democratic Party leaders think about 20 House seats might already probably be lost. CBS News Update. I'm Steve Knight.
All right, we're back. This is Keep It Real Sports here on Chat Battle Radio, brought to you by CBS Radio. And we was actually getting into a heavy little discussion about Matt Leiner's importance to the NFL.
He has no importance in the NFL.
Exactly. That's what this discussion's about. But I just want to give everybody the number if you want to chime in. The number is 877-242-8212. Once again, 877-242-8212. Give us your thoughts on it, and we'll go back and forth as well.
Matt Leiner has no place in the NFL. My thing is, I feel like he doesn't care enough about getting better. He feels like my sense of Matt Leiner is that he feels like he can get away with just being Matt Leiner, former USC standout, former Heisman winner, and all the hoopla at USC, and that's all fine and good. One of the most prolific college offenses we've ever seen, and I think if you want to make it in the NFL, you gotta do a little bit more than just that.
I agree. You can't live off of what you did in the past.
Right, you can't just show up and expect to be handed everything.
Definitely agree.
And that's my problem with him. I think he was just happy with being. He was satisfied with being a top 15 pick. I think he was drafted 11th overall.
Yeah.
I think he was just satisfied with that. He there was no hunger from him. That was it. He was just too laid back. And I mean, there's a difference between being laid back and working hard, like Eli Manning, because Eli Manning's a very laid back quarterback.
Very.
But he works hard, and I don't get that sense of, that I want to get better from Matt Leiner.
The thing that I like about Eli, which is kind of funny, is that whenever he loses a game, he throws 3 interceptions or does something crazy, he talks to the media. He's like, well, I was really doing a good job today. Got to do better next week. You would think he doesn't show. That's what people used to get mad at him. He never showed any anger.
Eli Manning is the same person. He's the same guy when he throws 3 interceptions, and he's the same guy when he throws
or wins a
4
Super Bowl.
Right.
He was the same way when he won the Super Bowl. He wasn't really jumping up and down. He was kind of
and that's
yeah, we won the Super Bowl.
I jumped up and down.
But I like to see what we do next year.
I lost my voice that day.
I ran up and down Queens Boulevard.
I did. Yeah.
I ran up and down my block and got champagne and celebrated in the streets.
I hugged a lot of people I didn't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. The Giant fans are the most loving people in the world.
Yes,
we
are.
will accept you.
We definitely are.
We will accept you. But at the same time, if we're going bad, everybody else is going bad with us.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
That's really what it goes.
If we're not happy, you're gonna know about it.
You will definitely know about it.
I will definitely let you know we'll disgruntle after week 1.
Yep.
All right.
Moving on to the Jets.
Yes.
Honestly, no real major cuts.
No.
No.
Nobody really expected it. And you saw him on Hard Knocks. I like to watch him. What?
Sadistic, man.
What? It's funny because it's like they come in and, they always like, hey, sit down. All right, well, we're going to let you go. And we just want to say if you need any help in free agency, I know some people, and you're very talented, but you're just not a good fit for the team. And usually it's just good for the player just to shut up and just listen to the crap they spew to you.
Right.
But there's always that one player that says something like, well, what was it? He's like, no, but, we're just going to let you go. And, they just continue
Can
on.
I do anything to get better? No.
No. Nothing you can do. It's over. We're going to follow you back and take care of the playbook right now. And
no, they don't follow them back. They bring the playbook to them. They're like, bring the playbook.
No, they follow them back.
Yeah, but they bring the playbook first.
I love that. They follow, like, they check the room and everything.
Right, yeah.
It's just great. You feel so loved.
But, yeah, I mean, the Jets made no real, I mean, they cut, you watch Hard Knocks, they cut,
yeah. The quarterback that they traded for, I forget his name. That's how important he was. They'd rather keep Kellen Clemens. Yeah, O'Connell. They'd rather keep Kellen Clemens. They traded for O'Connell. Remember that? Before the season started.
The only reason they kept Kellen Clemens because he took a pay cut.
Yeah.
But, who's the 5'6" receiver?
I know who you're talking about.
Larry Taylor.
Yeah, Larry Taylor.
They cut him.
Well, I saw that coming. He's 5'6".
No, like I said, nobody really important got cut from the Jets.
Unless you really got into their emotions during Hard Knocks, like you really was rooting for this guy.
Real quick, on Hard Knocks.
Yes.
I think HBO has a say in what goes on.
Oh, well, of course.
No. I think they make them do stuff.
I think. Oh, you mean like it's staged?
Yes.
What part do you think was staged?
No, not the show stage. I think they. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say.
All right.
The last episode, they showed the preview
Mm-hmm.
for the next episode coming up this Wednesday.
Yeah.
They said the whole big thing was, oh, Joe McKnight, he's not that good. Joe McKnight isn't that great. He's not, and Joe McKnight isn't that great.
He isn't.
He's not, and it doesn't take a psychic to know this.
Because he's not getting paid enough.
Right.
USC.
But who said that? Bart Scott said that, right?
Yeah, he's not getting paid enough.
He's mad. He had to take a pay cut.
Take a pay cut.
but here's the thing. They made all this. They had all this hype about Joe McKnight for the next episode getting cut, possibly getting cut, or not good enough, or this, that, and the other thing. The very next day, obviously, before they could have recorded that on Hard Knocks.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Jets playing whoever the hell they played.
The Eagles.
Right, there you go, the Eagles. That's why I don't care. The Eagles suck. What happens? Joe McKnight fumbles, 65-yard return for a touchdown.
Did he make the team?
He didn't get cut, so I'm sure. I didn't hear about him getting cut. So, and I think the reason he didn't get cut is because they didn't want to look bad because they did draft him in the 4th round. You would hate to draft the guy in the 4th round and have to cut him because that's guaranteed money thrown away right there.
Yeah, it's like the way I look at it. In Hard Knocks, I know what you're saying, how it's like they foreshadow
right.
things. I think they have. That's from the Jets PR.
I think HBO.
But it's the
Jets
Jets PR.
And said, listen, make us look good in fumble.
Make us look good. So that's what you're saying, that the HBO people are talking to the players to make it more exciting.
Would it surprise you?
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I'm pretty sure they told Tony Soprano a couple of things.
Well, that's a little bit different.
Is it?
But going back to Hard Knocks last year with the
Jersey.
Bengals, Chase Kaufman, they made all this big thing of Chase Kaufman is not that great. Eventually he's going to get cut. He gets cut yesterday.
Yeah.
Come on. I think HBO has a say in what goes on.
I love the players that are probably in training camp and are watching the show, and they're like, oh, dang.
Dang, I'm bad.
I must be really, because you don't even know the coaches are saying this.
And I think we got to give credit to HBO. I mean, they turn that stuff around quick.
Yes, they do.
I don't know how much footage they have, but to turn it around in a matter of days for the episode, and then get it down to an hour. I mean, that's.
Well, I know how the people do it, and trust me, that's a good payday. I'm saying, if you'd work that, that's a good payday.
Right.
But anyway,
a few other things around the league real quick. Myron Rowe got cut. one of my personal favorite players. I mean, in terms of college players.
All right.
I mean, this is a guy, Rhodes Scholar, has dreams of being a neurosurgeon, and he had people criticizing him because he wanted to learn and do the Rhodes Scholar thing, and then they want to bash him for being smart. That's something.
Well, now he can fall back on and get his neurosurgeon degree. You don't have to play football anymore.
Well, I'm sure he loves playing football. I'm just saying.
He don't have to. He got the degree now.
Right.
He's not like everybody else.
Another guy that got cut, I feel, a strong tie to Chris Sims.
Phil Sims' son.
Yes, Chris, and that's not the only reason.
Yeah.
As you might know, I did meet and have a very good conversation with Chris Sims when he was arrested for
Did you?
DUI.
Did you?
I didn't tell you this?
No, you didn't.
Oh, you didn't know about this?
No.
Oh wow,
Oh,
where you been, guys?
well.
Tell me, Chris Sims.
I thought
in
I did
custody.
tell you. I'm pretty sure I
No,
told you.
That's a story I think I would have want to repeat when you talk about Chris Sims.
What we doing?
But every time you talk about Phil Sims, I'll bring it up. Now I
Okay.
will.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, I did meet Chris Sims when I worked for the Criminal Justice Agency. Chris Sims, yeah, Central Booking. Chris Sims was arrested on suspicion of a DUI.
Oh.
Very nice guy, great guy.
He would have to be.
I mean, I guess in the situation,
He would have to be.
you kind of have to
I
be.
mean, it's not like what's he gonna do? Be a jerk when he's getting
Well,
arrested?
listen, I offered him. Listen, I told him I'd get him a bagel. He declined. He was very, 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 very nice guy to talk to. I tried to
Very
be
easygoing.
very easygoing for a person in his situation. Very, very easygoing.
I would take you would have to be relaxed in that type of
Well,
situation
I don't-
in order to make things run smoothly.
You know-
When you're Chris Sims, I think things are gonna run smoothly no matter what.
I mean,
I in the situation, comparing it to other high profile people I've met, Redman was not as
loving.
No,
Well, yeah.
Redman looked like he just got pulled off the street, like literally from like a garbage can. He
my
looked like
hero.
Oscar the Grouch.
He's my hero.
He looked like Oscar the Grouch. Walking out of the cell, he's clutching an orange like it's the last orange in the
He
history.
was ever gonna have in
like
life.
ever.
You gotta clutch something.
I'd rather clutch onto my freedom.
There were
That's what I would like to
several
do.
others.
We are on different planes, sir.
There were several others, but like I said, Chris Sims, I'm sure he'll find a place somewhere in the NFL. At least I hope he does.
But you know what? That's all fun and dandy with Chris Sims.
Willie Parker getting cut. Oh my God!
I don't really care
Fast
for Willie
Willie
Parker.
Parker.
Fast Willie Parker got cut.
From the Ravens?
From the Redskins.
Redskins.
Yeah, he couldn't make the Redskins.
So now
53-man roster.
now the roster is the running backs in turn.
Portis and Johnson.
Portis and Johnson.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird running back tandem when you think about that.
3 years ago, it would have been the best backfield in the league.
No, right?
It would
They
have.
would have been like in Madden, like all 90s.
They would have.
Not just like mediocre running backs that could make up 190 player.
Now listen to this.
Would
It says-
that be equivalent to like a second tier or third tier like NBA player?
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen to this. Larry Johnson has made the Redskins roster with Ryan Terrain and undrafted rookie Keelan Williams from LSU, mind you. Expected to slot in behind LJ, Larry Johnson obviously, and Clinton Portis. Parker, who turned 30 in November, has nothing left in the tank. At this point, we'd almost be surprised if he's near the top of any team's emergency list. The former Steeler brings nothing to the passing game and has no burst.
Wow.
And
I hope he has good PR people to turn this around.
and this is all from Adam Schefter on Twitter. Oh my God,
Adam Schefter is awesome. Isn't he?
He's just ripping guys apart,
Adam
man.
Schefter does not want you to have a life.
No, not at all.
God.
Jeez.
You see, Adam Schefter is the reason why people steal. After all, this is why Takers, the movie, was made because of Adam Schefter. Just saying.
How was that, by the way?
Did you see
Good?
it?
I give it a B.
Okay,
I can't hear
Blake
you.
gave us a B. That was good. Look.
Is that a Takers reference? I didn't
Yes,
see
it
it.
is.
Yes, it definitely is a
Definitely
Taker's
is.
reference, sir.
Definitely is.
All roads to follow me.
All right,
Yeah.
good. I didn't see
Sorry,
it. So.
I'm sorry, are we judging that? We're really judging that? Okay.
I mean,
Denver
do
Broncos did it first.
you think I can find it online somewhere?
How about we not talking about that on the air?
What?
Oh. Anyway. Find it online.
I could have been talking about anything.
Anyway.
Just jumping down my throat.
Anyway, we're gonna move along. The NBA, not much going on, but the World Basketball Championships is currently underway. USA basketball, pretty much unstoppable, for the most part.
Did they win again?
Huh?
Didn't they play like Tunisia or something like that?
Tunisia.
Is that who they played? They played nobody.
You know,
Tunisia has teams. They have people there.
Apparently.
Yeah, I think Lincoln. I think you need to talk to people for a while on this one. You need to let them know because Lincoln is actually our unofficial basketball analyst, and he'll take a seat right now.
Oh.
And yeah.
I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you very much.
He's taking too long.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, so, Lincoln, give us a breakdown of what's been going on with the World Basketball Championship.
USA basketball, basically in the first half, it always looks like it's going to be a tight game, so it makes the USA fans a little scary. You know, I'm scared a little bit. I don't want to see 45-37 in the first half against Tasmania. Not Taz. It's TuSnia. I believe that's how you spell it. Tunisia. There we go. And then in the second half they break out. You know, like they usually do, except for when they face Spain. So these last two games they played. I mean, they look okay, but the turnovers is just bad. They turn over the ball like it's like Steve Nash giving an alley-oop to Amari Stoudemire when he had knees. That's how bad it's looking right now. It's pretty bad.
Wow, that's what a reference.
Okay, you want me to use Chris Paul, Tyson Chandler?
I mean, I'm just going with it. I get you. I get what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, Spain just beat Greece today.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
A whole bunch of threes was flowing out their pockets.
And so what are we looking at? How many more games are left in this thing?
It's around a 16. So it's basically playoffs.
All right, so this is it, like one or done.
We're facing Angola.
Wait, these aren't like exhibition games?
No, not anymore.
No, these are the real thing.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's the real thing.
Okay, so at one point they were.
Yeah.
I'm not
the five preliminary games.
So I'm not going crazy. Okay, I thought they were exhibition games at one point. I was like, all right.
Spain defeated Greece 80-72, and Serbia defeated Croatia in a tight game 73-72.
That's Tony Kukoc land, man.
Yeah, Tony Kukoc was like, they're Jordan.
Like how Luis Scola is.
It really was.
Like Luis Scola is Argentina's Jordan.
Well,
no,
he's averaging 29 right now.
Manu
Ginobili is pretty big in Argentina.
Scola is averaging 29.
No,
he's averaging the most right now.
Scola over there, that's true.
Scola is a big threat. Even in the NBA, he's kind of a threat as well because he's very versatile.
Who does the U.S. play next?
Huh?
Who does the U.S. play next?
Angola.
I'm pretty sure we got that locked in.
We better.
Yeah. But they're like the 16th seed and we're the first seed basically.
Who plays for Angola?
I don't know.
Anybody of value?
A bunch of players that play for the Olympics and track, but they can't find any basketball players, so they use them instead.
It should be fun.
Awesome.
It should be fun.
So it's kind of like that time. Westbury played some team from I forgot where, and they didn't have enough baseball players. So they got players from other sports, and they were playing baseball with sneakers on, with Jordans on.
That's hot.
You gotta play them with something on, man.
It's hilarious.
But here's my thing. You know, you always talk about the teams in there. Like, how many teams are actually in the tournament?
No one cares.
16, I believe.
In the whole tournament? Oh, now it's 16. But before, in the beginning, it was what, 30 something? Or
it was 5 groups of 6 players. So let's say 30.
That's 30 teams.
Yeah. Multiplication.
You never see some certain teams like from certain countries in there all the time. You never see Jamaica in there.
No, because they're not a basketball country.
They
play soccer.
You don't see Haiti in there. You don't see
What?
You don't see it. You don't see it in it. It's the World Cup all over again. I don't get it. I just asked a question.
Yeah, I think you just hurt little feelings there, but
I just don't see them in there.
I mean, because they're not a basketball country per se.
Not basketball country.
No.
Oh, okay.
They're more along the lines of track and field and soccer.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't. What? I thought they could be in there. It's a good. Samuel Dallenberg's Haitian. Anyway.
Actually, Haiti was there last year.
See, that's what I'm trying to say.
2 years ago in the Olympics, I think they were there.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
I think they have more important things to worry about right now.
Oh, yes. I think, yes, they do.
Right. Wyclef is not running for president no more.
Because he can't.
You're just...
he didn't meet the qualifications.
Another news today. Does anybody know who John Lucas III is?
Yes.
He's apparently trying out for the Bulls.
You went to Oklahoma State.
Way to go.
This is like his 8th year in the league. Honestly, no, 6 years. I exaggerated a lot. I'm sorry.
I remember when there was that one.
He came in with Houston Rockets.
They drafted him?
I don't know if they drafted him, but I know he's played for them a couple times.
He's pretty terrible.
Yeah, and the Bulls invited him to play. He didn't go. The Bulls invited him to play.
I wonder why.
As you all know, Delonte West is on the Celtics.
Really? Again?
Yeah.
Again.
You know.
Oh, but
I think
so.
Whose mom is he going for this time?
Everybody. Oh, the forecast is Ray Allen should watch out.
I don't like Ray Allen's mom. I'm sorry. I bet she's a nice lady, but I don't like the way she looks. I've seen the way she looks. It's not much.
LeBron's mom is not that much of a looker either, so I don't think Delonte cares at this point. As long as you have that above age of 45, I think you're pretty good.
I think he's
Trey Songz's mom is number one.
If you can hold his gun in your guitar case, I think you're pretty good.
Desperado over there.
Desperado.
I'm making you trending topic for the week.
Oh, maybe so. Because last week was Magic Johnson.
we're not getting into all that. But all right, real quick though, we got some other sports that actually going on. The U.S. Open here in what?
You're just jumping all past
basketball.
You're
jumping.
There's more. I'm sorry.
Because Boozer just basically said something that he said that he wants. He said they asked him basically, what is your goal? You know, what's your goal for the year with the Bulls? He straight and said championship, even well knowing that the Heat are there in the same conference.
Well, I agree with him because who goes in there saying I want to be in second place?
You're right.
You know, nobody goes in there like I just want to
make
Hawks.
It.
Larry Hughes.
Well, that's why Larry Hughes is not relevant anymore.
Yes, he is. He's making his money. Okay, he's on the Bobcats, and they went to the playoffs.
How does Larry Hughes make teams?
Look, man, you're not gonna disrespect Larry Hughes because when he was on the Wizards, he was a defensive threat.
Great defensive player.
You know what? Here's my theory. I think I told you about this before, but people that they say is a defensive threat means they can't score anymore.
But Larry
That's
Hughes
what that means. I'm sorry.
Larry Hughes had the stats to back it up.
Because
he could average. He could have averaged like 20 when he was on the Cavs. But no, let's give the scoring load to LeBron. And when he was on the Wizards, he was scoring.
And when he was on the Knicks,
he didn't feel like he just wanted the money. He basically said, "Look, man, I don't care if I win a championship."
Hughes led the league in steals.
What year?
I think that's the year when he was on the Wizards.
Was he on the same team as Jordan?
No, he was. No, he wasn't.
After or before?
That was after. He came after when Gilbert was on the rise.
Gilbert was on the rise. I'm sorry, Larry Hughes was all those plays. I felt like it was a disappointment. He was supposed to. Everybody expected him to be better than what he actually was.
But on the Wizards, he was actually better than there was. Like when he was on the Wizards and they were facing Cavaliers, he was actually playing.
I remember when he was on Philly, and him and Allen Iverson didn't work out.
Well, who doesn't work? Who works out with Allen Iverson?
Eric Snow.
You're right. The second worst player ever in the NBA.
Whoa, not the second.
Top 10. But you name it like who doesn't work out with Allen Iverson? Who doesn't?
Yeah,
who works out with
Iverson always had a backcourt of like somebody that wasn't that good, like Aaron McKee. He had Aaron McKee with him.
2004, 2005, Larry Hughes led the league in steals. There you go.
That's a long time.
And he was on the Wizards when they were actually really good.
All right, so he's a defensive stopper.
He is.
Yeah, but look at Shane Battier. He's a defensive stopper since he went in the NBA. I believe that if he worked even more, if he just transitioned to an offensive game, he'll be a balanced player. But
Shane Battier used to be a good scorer, though.
Yes, I'm saying. And then he came to the NBA, and he was known for the intangibles and for the three-point shot and the being a defensive player. So you can't just say just because a person is a defensive stopper, that means he doesn't have any offensive skills.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Ray Allen's mom, no.
That's what I said. I said that was a no before.
No,
yeah. Look, man. When you're from Washington, you know sometimes you just don't come out right.
This is true.
You know, I would have said Jesus Showsworth's mom, but you saw what happened to her.
Oh my gosh.
What I gotta do is move on.
Wait.
What?
Real quick.
We gotta move on. Hurry up, man.
You keep changing the subject. According to a team source, Donnie Walsh rejected a 3-team trade that would have sent Anthony Randolph to Indiana and a first-round pick to Portland and Rudy Fernandez to New York.
We have first-round picks?
No, listen. The Blazers are insisting on a first-round pick.
I'm serious.
For Fernandez, and due to trades, the Knicks do not have one of their own until 2014.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 2020. Well, too bad. So, it's good though because since the movie 2012 came out, they said that the world's gonna end. So we really don't matter.
We don't need those picks anyway.
We don't need those picks anyway.
We don't need them.
We don't.
Oh gosh, that's why every contract expires at 2012.
So what are you saying? Moving on.
We're gonna move on to U.S. Open.
2012.
U.S. Open.
I could talk about this as well.
A couple of things that are jumping in there. Serena Williams is actually there, but she's not playing. She's supporting her sister Venus,
who's playing fabulous, by the way.
Yeah, she actually just won her third-round match. It's gonna be pretty much what we expected. Venus in the finals. That's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay. Last week I said something about Maria Sharapova. I'm going to give her a little bit more credit, even though I'm not going to give her the full credit that everyone gives her. So, she defeated Capra. 6-love both sets.
18-year-old?
Yes.
Yeah, it was an 18-year-old.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of bad for the 18-year-old girl because the broadcasters was like, you know, she has a backup plan. Her backup plan was Duke. So his partner said basically, yeah, she should go to Duke and maybe come back. That's come on. How do you encourage a girl who's in the second round of the U.S. Open? Not a lot of 18 American girls can go to the second round of the U.S. Open.
I mean, they could go to watch.
Not a lot of American girls, regular, other than Venus and Serena, can go to the second round of the U.S. Open.
True. That is very true.
So, I mean, shout out to Capra.
There'll be a lot of them on
double
Eastern
fault
Parkway.
21 times. I'm sorry, you don't deserve to win.
21
times?
She has to work on the skills.
Double faulted 21 times.
Okay, but it's not as bad if she was like Michelle Wee.
You know how bad? You know how many times Sharapova double faulted?
0 times.
5.
Well, you know, she aced a couple. Oh man, I felt so bad. I was watching that, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I mean, I knew she was gonna win.
Everybody knew.
And I was like, oh, this is bad.
Who's Sharapova play next?
She's playing someone who won 11 straight matches.
Oh.
It's gonna be a good matchup between those two. Forgot her name.
Caroline Wozniacki.
Yeah, Wozniacki. There we go.
All right. In the guys' side, you got Federer, you got Nadal. They're pretty much breezing.
Federer,
that's all I really care
and then
about.
Roddick lost.
Oh, surprise!
Shocker.
Did I tell you he wasn't that good?
Look,
he wasn't that good.
No. We're not gonna talk about. I mean, we are gonna talk about this, but I'm not gonna say. I'm still standing by my fact that Roddick is a surprise. He's a good player. It's just that sometimes he gets inconsistent. And when he gets, you know about
sometimes.
Roddick? No, when he gets to Roddick, when he gets one bad break during a set, it just stays with him and it keeps rolling.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's not really good at.
Like he can't pick
stuff.
He can't pick himself up after a bad break, or if he does a double fault, he get mad and just mess up the rest of the game.
Real quick on the men's side, I am a huge Novak Djokovic kind of guy. I like watching Novak.
So
Djokovic.
I like my
man crush on him or what?
No, I wouldn't say man crush yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And he beat James Blake. You know.
James Blake, he's like he's a I don't know what to call him. Like as a reference, he's so easy to defeat, but he's in every major, every Grand Slam. I mean,
James Blake is.
He's like the Jim Furyk of the golf. That's what he is.
Jim Furyk of tennis, you mean?
Tennis. Sorry, you're correct. Thank you.
James Blake. I'm trying to think of an NBA reference.
He's Larry Hughes.
No.
He's a good defensive player.
Or he can hit back. He can't like
Clearly
attack.
I'm trying to think of a team.
A team?
Yeah, that he represents. He is.
You know who he is? He's the Clippers. That's who he is.
I wouldn't say he's bad as the Clippers.
All right.
Because he gets there. He gets there.
What? So you want to say he's the Houston Rockets without Young Min?
I would say yeah. He's definitely the Houston Rockets of.
Okay, so you're telling me that so James Blake is a team that no one watches that might make the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, Novak Djokovic.
And Munfield won yesterday, and I liked him for a couple of years now. He's on the ranks. He's rising up the ranks.
But the only reason I'm not just go back to Djokovic. The only reason I like him is because he does the impressions of other tennis players. I think that's hilarious.
All right.
You know, that's always a good thing. But, you know, that's my little 2
course,
cents on NBA and the U.S. Open.
My guy,
you stop doing that, okay?
All right, that means move fast.
My guy, Gael Monfils, so it's
great
still
job,
learning, so that's all I care about.
But, yeah, definitely. We're going to real quick mention the Tiger Woods is actually in a golf tournament right now where he is trailing, and he needs to win to actually get into the he needs to get a good finish to get into the FedEx playoffs, so he will miss the playoffs this year. Is he en route to get in? Because he can't miss this cut, I heard. And actually, some other Tiger news. God bless you. He actually just moved here. He's moved to New York City. He has his own bachelor pad in New York. So, ladies, Tiger is single and ready to mingle in New York City.
Hide your wife. Hide your kids.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife. He coming for you. That's a great song. Just saying.
Great song.
Great song.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
That's what you're gonna have to do with Tiger Woods.
He gon' find you. He gon' find you.
He sure will. And the thing about Tiger Woods that always that whole thing that always made me laugh was the fact that he wasn't going for like model chicks. He was banging like
Average girls.
Yeah, right. Like I think that's
like,
that's refreshing.
Hey Jim, did you see that girl who went Denny's?
Yeah, he's the kind of guy who'll go to Denny's and pick up a trip.
All right.
A Sizzler kind of guy, you know.
Our boy Tiger. What we're gonna do is talk more in the second hour. We got plenty in baseball. We'll talk about your boy Najee Morgan and something's wrong with Floyd Mayweather. What we're gonna do is step aside. You're listening to Keeping It Real Sports here on Chat About It Radio, powered by CBS Radio.
In the next 2 months, I think voters would not see it and they would not feel it, and therefore it would still hurt the Democrats. It looks very bad for the Democrats.
Not so, says the president of the AFL-CIO, Richard Trumka, speaking on CNN's State of the Union.
There's some hope. The foundation's been built. We've reined in Wall Street. We've done something to control health care. We've started the process.
But Republican Senator Lindsey Graham on NBC's Meet the Press counters.
The truth of the matter is that most of this is a rejection of a Democratic agenda that did not meet the expectations that President Obama created about a new way of doing business.
The New York Times reports that Democratic Party insiders think as many as 20 House seats might already be lost. Militants blew up a car bomb at the gate of an Iraqi military headquarters building in Baghdad today. CBS's Jane Araf reports that 12 people were killed.
Residents nearby reported gunfire for at least half an hour. That appears to have been guards at the building opening fire and shooting in the air to warn onlookers away. There were often other explosions after the initial suicide bombs are detonated.
And NATO says one more service member was killed today in fighting in southern Afghanistan, a week before the anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks.
A lot of people have been telling you
what to think about Muslims.
American Muslims are running public service announcements on TV and radio stations promoting Islam as a peaceful religion. Security has been increased at many mosques as leaders fear a backlash against plans to build an Islamic center near the site of the World Trade Center. In the Gulf, crews have successfully lifted the broken blowout preventer from BP's ruptured oil well to the surface. A new one's in place, and authorities say there is no risk the well will ever leak again. After a violent, damaging earthquake in Christchurch, New Zealand 2 days ago, power has been restored to 90% of the city. 20% of homes and businesses have their water service back. Mayor Bob Parker.
With no loss of life and yet a 7.1 magnitude earthquake on our doorstep, it says a lot about the people who have built this place.
The quake ripped a new 11-foot wide fault line in the ground. Federal investigators in New Zealand are heading to the scene of a crash of a sky-jumping plane that killed 9 people. The plane crashed near a popular tourist spot in the Southern Alps. In southeast Australia, where brush fires did so much damage last year, wiping out trees and ground cover, there is now flooding after 8 inches of rain.
I reckon it was coming up 6 inches every half an hour, which is a phenomenal amount of water. I've never seen anything like it.
He spoke while taking a break from stacking up sandbags out in front of his house. This is CBS News.
Times are tough. I'm watching my money like never before. Trust me, I get enough monthly
bills. It never ends. Thankfully, with HD Radio, there are no
monthly subscription fees, and HD radios start as low as $50. It's the best
entertainment deal. I get all my favorite stations and cool new ones I've never heard before. That's
what I call variety. Find out what's playing on HD Radio in your area at hdradio.com. More stations, no monthly fees. HD Radio, a good deal more.
There are 3 things that I'll protect at any cost: the honor of this country, the safety of this city, and the integrity of this lab.
Millions of viewers have made CSI New York a hit.
Get these people back, now!
We've got another body.
Perfect crime. No DNA.
There's no such thing.
This isn't just a murder anymore.
It's personal.
CSI New York, it just keeps getting better.
I will find something. And when I find it, I'll be coming for you.
Don't miss it. CBS Wednesdays. Every Monday, more people watch one drama than any other show. CSI Miami.
Miami PD!
Dead body.
Looks like things took a wrong turn.
She was stabbed. This is personal.
What are you gonna do?
I am gonna get to the truth.
Here we go. Critics call it powerful, taut, and stylish.
We never assume anything, do we?
But most of all, fascinating.
He's not gonna stop until we make him stop.
David Caruso.
This is a dangerous game.
CSI Miami. CBS Mondays.
In this tough economy, you have to get your money's worth. That's why at CBS Monday, we're guaranteeing our laughs. Now you won't have to wonder if How I Met Your Mother will be funny. We guarantee it.
How great is that?
Or if the new comedy Accidentally on Purpose, 2.5 Men, or The Big Bang Theory will make you laugh until you cry for your mama. We guarantee it.
You're afraid of insects and women. Ladybugs must render you catatonic.
It's comedy guaranteed. Mondays, only CBS, followed by CSI Miami.
The future has arrived to your computer. It's called Chat About It, the new interactive internet radio station where you can hear interesting and compelling talk radio. From business to gardening, golf and real estate, Chat About It has a show for you with no more fighting through static to hear your favorite radio program. Chat About It is compelling, high-quality radio that's just a mouse click away. And Chat About It makes it easy to be a part of the conversation when it's time to be heard. Go to chataboutit.com, bookmark it, and start chatting. That's chataboutit.com. Chataboutit.com is the place to listen to new and exciting talk shows. Listen live and call us at 877-CHAT-212 and let's chat.
And we are back keeping it real sports here for hour number 2 here at Chat About It Radio, powered by CBS Radio. And like I said, we've had a pretty interesting morning. We broke down Matt Leiner's significance in the NFL.
Which is none.
Really.
Nothing.
And we also broke down your boy, Larry Hughes, who
actually my boy, yo.
All right, you know what? I'm not going to say your boy anymore, okay? I'm going to say it's going to be Father's boy.
Whoa,
Larry
first
Hughes.
of all, I don't even know who you're talking about.
It's coming at you all wrong. Man.
How about this? The number, if you want to chime in on anything going on in sports, it's 877-242-8212. This hour is going to be actually a fun one because we're dealing with a lot of anger in sports this second hour. We're going to start off.
Anger in sports is good.
Yeah, we're going to start.
Because it shows emotion.
It's necessary.
It's very necessary. Now, for everybody watching on KeepItRealSports.com or listening to us on your BlackBerry apps or iPhone apps,
You're going to have to give me a tutorial on how that works.
Well, if you go to the site, there's a tutorial on the site.
No, I want you to do it for me.
I
want you to do it for me. No, I want you to walk me through how I can listen to the show on my BlackBerry when I'm not here.
This is what he does.
Okay?
This is what he does. He does this all the time.
What I do?
He'll tell you where you can find out how to do something.
But he won't tell you how to do it.
Like,
Saves time.
I hit you up yesterday, and I was like, yo, yesterday or the day before, I said, yo, where are those pictures?
Yes.
That we took in here.
It's a good thing you brought that up because, Lincoln, you actually asked me the same thing. And I told them on the site, they were on the site for 2 weeks as an actual thing to just check on. It was like the very first thing you see were the pictures. So that means you haven't been on the site in 2 weeks.
Okay, what's your point?
He's on vacation. What do you mean? He wasn't even here for a week.
I was in Mexico last week.
Oh, great.
I was out of the country.
That's way to go, Stan.
All right? Let me just clarify that, first off. Secondly,
yes.
I contribute to the site.
I know, but you couldn't see that in 2 weeks?
Listen, I contribute. Therefore, as long as there's confirmation that what I contribute is on the site,
it's always up there.
Then okay, well then all right.
All right, then what are we arguing here?
As we move on.
Yeah, as we
I
move
asked
on.
you where the pictures were, and you said check the site. And I'm looking at the site for like an hour trying to find these pictures.
Did you click the archives?
No. Because why would they be in archives?
They were there for 2 weeks.
They should be in pictures or whatever.
That makes sense. It should be in pictures.
It should be a section that says
we shouldn't be talking about this right now.
And then I couldn't save them to my computer.
All right. Way to go. Great job on that. We're going to talk about anger in sports. And actually, the thing that was big, obviously, was the Nigel Morgan. Now, everybody knows who Nigel Morgan is now, if you wasn't sure.
Oh, you talking about the Nationals player?
Yes, the Nationals player. He been a little rowdy this last couple of weeks.
A little bit rowdy.
A little bit rowdy, a little bit, untamed, out of control.
That sounds like more words that would fit the situation.
That's what it really was. And he actually got into a little bit of a brawl. And I'm going to know, is that footage actually being shown right now? Okay. It actually is not. Great job. Nigel Morgan got into a brawl with the Florida Marlins. I believe it was a couple of days ago. I don't know the exact
Chris Volstad, right?
Chris Volstad. And he caught actually a nice little clothesline.
Yes, he did. From the first baseman, right?
Yes.
Was it from the first baseman?
From the first baseman. On his way to the mound.
Yes, I did see that on ESPN. That was quite hilarious to me.
Very hilarious. So, my it's very funny because listen to the whole situation, though. The day before, he injured their catcher by pretty much bowling him over,
Yes.
shoulder first,
Yes.
separate the guy's shoulder, catcher's
Hey.
out. That's the game. You can't block
That's the
plate.
game.
He blocked the plate. The very next day, of course, they're gonna be gunning for him because Nigel Morgan is one of those guys that doesn't care. He's like a Brandon Phillips. He's gonna say what he's gonna say. The very first, not the very first at bat, but during the game, the Marlins are up. They're up about 10, 11 runs.
It was that high? That
Yes.
game? I didn't even pay
They're up
attention
10,
to the
11
score.
runs.
It was a high scoring game.
They were up 10, 11 runs, so obviously the Nationals were losing. They decided to take their aggression out on Morgan, so they hit him. And, he goes to first base. What does Morgan do? Down 11 runs? Let's steal second base. And when that done, the very next pitch, let's steal third base.
Oh.
Yes.
He was getting fancy
He was
out
getting
there.
fancy, huh?
That's what's up.
So, when he did come in and score, the very next at bat, you know what's going to happen. They threw behind him. So he gets upset, charges the mound, catches the clothesline. And it's funny because
he caught Volstad with a two-piece before
he got caught with a two-piece, but he got hit with a clothesline
Well,
out of nowhere.
the first punch of the two-piece kind of missed to hit him in the ear. So
And then Volstad came through with a couple roundhouses, on his back too. That was crazy.
Now it's very
I saw
interesting
that.
because when you're watching it, it's funny because was he not surprised that people were gonna run and try to protect their pitcher? It's like he ran in there recklessly, just going at him.
Reckless abandon.
Reckless abandon, just nothing, everything. And then it's funny because
baseball needs more brawls like that.
as they broke it up, he walks up as his WWE. He's putting his hands up and everything.
That's right.
Taunting the
That's
crowd.
right.
I wasn't sure what he was doing.
That's right. He was taunting the crowd. He was like, "Let's go. I'll take on all of you.
He was
all of you.
Very interesting.
All you Florida Marlin fans, I'll take on all of you outside in the parking lot.
Muhammad
What do you
Ali.
want to do?
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
What you want to do?
Hands can't hit, but the eyes can't see. That's pretty much what he was doing right there. Well, yeah, I can say that. That was a great line. Now, it's funny because Major League Baseball frowns; they look down upon that. But let's think about this again. As I'm hoping that the video is being replayed again. The thing was with Morgan. Are you really against him because he was being attacked, in a sense, and all he did was steal bases. It was disrespectful.
So
there you go.
But there's a legal. It's a legal way of saying "F you." I don't care for your throwing at me. You understand what I'm saying?
As far as being cordial, if I, it don't matter how many runs. I still am gonna play the game. All right. If I have a
play
chance
to win the game.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know about that playing to win the game stuff, but regardless of the score, whether if it's already decided, there's nothing really decided. Okay. Yes. People come back from 10-run deficits all season.
Exactly. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? All season. So if I have an opportunity, if I were him, I would have done the same exact thing.
So you would have ran out and
I would have stolen all the bases. If I could have, I would have stolen home. Lord knows I've done it in MLB 2K10.
There you go. Too bad it's not real.
Well, listen, Jeff Jeffries was real to me.
Jeff Jeffries. All right. As
far as I'm
we got too personal in that
concerned,
segment.
as far as I'm concerned, I'm a very real person. All right.
Way to go, Stan.
And the Stan Talouis exists here and in the virtual world. And sure, he might have a 101 mile per hour fastball and a 70 mile an hour 12-6 curveball. Maybe I don't in real life, but I do in a game. So
yeah, and Jeff Jeffries hit about 110 home runs in one season.
I saw it.
I'm the king.
I saw it.
I'm the
He's
king.
the king.
I saw it.
That's what it's all about. And here's my next thing now. So he got 8-game suspension.
15
because you added on with the other suspension that he was appealing. Very good. Nigel Morgan, do you feel like he's bad for the league? Because you're not the first thing they're gonna say. He's a loose cannon. He got all the traditionalists.
That's all great stuff.
That's what baseball needs, man.
They got Milton Bradley. He's calmed down. They have him on a Ritalin.
Well, listen. Milton Bradley is just the head case. He's gotten to the point where he's hurting himself.
He tore his ACL arguing it.
How you argue with someone interior ACL? Come on. But nah, baseball. Listen, one guy flipping out for a couple days is not gonna destroy the league.
Well,
and I'm tired of these baseball purists.
Yeah.
And all these guys. Oh, like I've said it time and time again. Baseball is all about change. It's all about change. And I'm not saying everybody's gonna go start, charging them out or whatever, but who cares? One guy charging them out in a game between two teams that aren't gonna make the playoffs doesn't make a difference.
It was exciting. It was fun to watch.
Now, if you're talking about this is, I'm sure if it was Yankees Red Sox, no one really would. Oh, it's so great to see this rivalry. It's because nobody cares about Washington and in Florida. People in Florida don't care about Florida.
Yeah, you're right. So you got Tampa Bay. I mean, Tampa's doing pretty good.
Barely.
They barely get any. They sell out. They never sell out.
They don't sell out at all.
It's a shame.
Florida is a football country. Always will be. No matter what happens.
Even with the Magic and the Heat.
These are the same people that, the Heat are playing. It's halftime. Okay, I'll walk in and watch.
I'll buy a ticket. Man. How about they have like halftime ticket prices?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Coming in halftime.
Because halftime is showtime.
Right? All right, the game. It's like the game could be 57-54. The Heat are up. I'm gonna hit the beach. What do you?
I think I'm gonna leave early, guys. Gotta work in the morning.
I'm gonna work on the 10. Work in the morning. They're gonna go work in the 10. Come on,
get GTL.
Listen, Florida is a football country. It always will be. All right.
Yeah.
So that's what Nigel Morgan flipping out on Marlins fans, or trying to beat the crap out of Chris Volstad. No one cares. No one cares.
All right, no one cares.
Now this happens. Yankees, Red Sox, ALCS. Now we're talking.
So Nigel Morgan is not a big deal.
No.
Because he's trying to be the bad boy. Is he the bad boy of Major League Baseball?
Before no one knew who he was. People in Washington didn't know who he was. All right. So come on.
They know who he is now. So all right, we go from there. We gotta talk about now the Yankees on an 8-game winning streak. How about that?
Yeah, how about it?
Why
I went to the game on Thursday.
Are you surprised at all?
I must say that
not encouraged at all. Actually.
No, I'm going to talk about it. I don't care. CC Sabathia pitched a gem. 8 innings, no runs, 1 hit.
I know. I was at work.
It's a great game. Pitched a great game. Okay, really? Yeah, he pitched a great game. And during the game,
95 pitches.
95 pitches. I feel like he could have gone that last inning. I was watching.
He could have, but he didn't. He was yawning on the mound. He was yawning. He was tired. He wanted to go take a nap.
Nick Swisher got hurt. He had stiffness in his leg after the first inning, so he brought in my boy Curtis Granderson. Hit 2 home runs. I was wearing his jersey. I was wearing his jersey the day of the game.
It doesn't matter. You don't know.
I was the only one wearing a Granderson jersey.
You have a Granderson jersey?
I have a Curtis Granderson
Actual jersey or the T-shirt?
T-shirt. I have a Curtis Granderson T-shirt.
You can't just throw the word jersey around like that, Ed.
Dinner with him regularly? No.
You can't just throw around the word jersey, Ed. Come on.
Okay.
I could if I wanted to. I could have.
Now you could if you wanted to.
I could have.
Really?
We call
really?
it. We have that. We're on that same network. He had 2 home runs because I was there. He actually hit them both.
Because you were there. Because you were there.
He hit them both. I was sitting in right field.
Did you catch him?
No, they was. I was kind of high in right field. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, those tickets.
The grandstand tickets. But it's all good.
$22. I saw the ticket.
Hey, listen. It happens.
They were $22.
It was still free.
It was you and Sabrina. Who else?
It was just Sabrina. Me and Sabrina.
Yeah, I figured that.
Great.
I saw the tickets.
You saw the tickets. All right.
She took pictures and put them on Facebook.
I know. I know.
They ain't tweet during that time neither.
No.
Oh, we're supposed to tweet?
Wonder what certain people would feel about that.
Yep.
Oh, they could tweet me and let me know. But what we're gonna do right now is continue on.
Certain chefs would think.
We're gonna continue on right now, like I'm saying. We are live right now here on Keep It Real Sports. Chat About It Radio, powered by CBS Radio. The New York Mets. We actually got to talk about New York Mets real quick.
I thought you were taking a break.
I was actually doing a little station. It's called station identification, sir.
Listen, I know all about it.
If you want to do it, then
I know all
about it.
Number
877-242-8212.
I actually was being interrupted by you guys, right? So you see,
it's cool. It's cool.
All right.
Because I thought you were taking a break. This way it sounded, you didn't sound like you were taking a break.
No, I wasn't taking a break.
All right, good.
All right, we're here. Okay. Like I said, like he was just saying, we'll repeat what he just said. 877-242-8212 is the number.
So the way I said it wasn't good enough?
No, I was just reiterating what you're saying. Didn't I just say that?
Not disrespectful.
Okay, right now we're going to continue on because I'm about to turn Nigel Morgan on all of y'all. And the New York Mets. The New York Mets are, fading fast. And R.A. Dickey, your best player, got knocked up a little bit.
He's not our best player.
He's been your best player for the last couple of months. It's been R.A. Dickey.
No, he is not.
The knuckleballer.
No, he is not.
Yes, he has.
No, he is not. Clearly, John Neese is better than R.A. Dickey. So
even people on different networks, when they talk about him, they say R.A. Dickey's, that guy.
R.A. Dickey is not that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy. Okay, well, anyway, the Mets are just fading fast. Have you officially given up on the season?
Absolutely.
What about you, Mr. Napoleon?
Haven't watched the game since the All-Star break.
That means he has given up. So, New York Mets, wait till next year. That's the slogan. What do we try to gain from this year? Because you're losing Beltran. You're not gonna get Beltran back.
Yeah, we are.
You gonna bring him back?
He's got another year left.
Oh, he does? I thought he'd be traded by now. You're not going to trade him in the off season?
Nobody's gonna take him.
Mm.
Come on, man. You gotta, if you're gonna insult my team, at least, bone up on the facts.
So what about K-Rod?
What about K-Rod?
Is he worth trading? Can he?
He's
get
not.
some?
He's gone. He's not coming back.
Not coming back?
No.
All right.
They cut him technically.
So what are the Mets gonna do? There's gonna be so many holes now. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not even trying to joke around. There's a lot of problems here in metropolitan area right now.
Let me interject here as like I said, as the average fan, and me being a Mets fan at that, I have no idea what direction the Mets want to go in. I actually glanced at the lineup from yesterday's game and couldn't tell you anybody I couldn't tell you anybody on the team. They got a dude on there. What is it?
Lucas Duda.
The Duda Day. I don't even know what he looks like. He may be a comic book character for all I care.
At this point, this is what the roster looks like. I mean, you got Angel Pucan right now is our best player.
That's it.
Best player.
He's the all-star.
He's the best player.
He's the face of the Mets right now.
He is the Mets.
The face.
He is Mr. Met.
He's Mr. Met right now.
He might as well just put on the big old baseball head
and play with it and everything. You got Lucas Duda, who's playing left field for Jason Bay.
The Duda Day.
The Duda Day. That's what we're going to call him from now on.
With Frank Gore being traded to Texas.
See, we don't even have Frank Gore anymore. I didn't even know that.
You got Ruben Tejada playing. Ruben Tejada playing shortstop. Chris Carter. Ruben Tejada. Chris Carter's in.
What's he like with the Mets for a
while?
while?
Coach Carter?
Chris Carter.
From the movie?
No, Chris Carter. This guy's white.
Hey, Mr. Carter.
Then you got Luis Hernandez came up.
Luis Hernandez? They took him out of what? He was in like AAA, right?
Yeah.
See?
Mike Hessman.
Sound like he was in Dangerous Minds.
Pat Mish pitched yesterday.
Excuse me?
Elmer Descends.
You stop cursing at me.
Yeah.
Elmer Descends. I didn't know he was still in the league.
Well, listen, Descends has been Descends. You got Joaquin Arias.
Oh.
That's a character from the Tyler Perry plays.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was. Which one?
Joaquin. He was on Meet the Browns, the series.
You're right.
He's a little Puerto Rican boy.
He knew that going in. He watches that stuff.
You got to support.
Tyler Perry owns a mansion that only black people work in. He doesn't give it back to anybody. So
go ahead with the rest of this roster.
This guy actually. Mind you, let me just preface this by saying, I've done my share of Met games this year for WFAN. I have no idea who this is.
Who?
Mike Nikias?
What position does he play?
He's a catcher.
How many catchers do the Mets need?
Well, they just traded your boy Barajas.
Who is killing in LA, by the way.
Well, yeah, because he's happy.
Hey, he was happy. He was happy here at one point. But
the beginning of the season.
Yeah. But
I'm very disgruntled Met fan right now.
You said I don't know if you can take anything away from this year. What you take away from this year is the fact that
you can't take. This was like you might as well just had sat everybody the whole season. You might as well shut down the New York Mets for the whole season, like they were on lockout or strike by themselves.
You know what I have to say honestly. And I don't know if you agree or disagree with me, but a large part of the blame, you know who it goes to, right?
Ramanaya?
Not just them. I'm talking about player wise. David Wright.
No.
Hear me out. He's got to be the leader of that team.
And
there's only so much a leader can do at this point.
Is so you have to hear me out.
Okay,
this team is so lax when they lose. I've never seen a team so lax to just lose games. There's nobody that's gonna you never hear, we're gonna have a team meeting led by David Wright. You never heard, we're gonna yell at somebody, I'm gonna go do this. Do something. I'm not saying you have to be, the Paul O'Neill, throw stuff or anything, but show me something, David Wright. He just every time you talk to him in an interview, he's like Eli Manning. He's kind of it's our team.
If you don't blame Eli Manning for it, why?
I do blame Eli Manning for it. I've always blamed Eli Manning for it. I've never thought that was a good quality of him.
But does that make him any less of a player?
Doesn't make any less of a player. Well, you know what? The team, you can't really
judge
him.
Doesn't make him any less of a player.
No, it doesn't.
All right.
But I'm not saying it's less of a player for David Wright, but I'm talking about less as a leader. You're the best player on this team. You got to be the leader. Bottom line. You have to be. You cannot just sit around and just collect stats and strikeouts and then just think it's okay.
293, 23 home runs, 90 RBI.
No, you don't say the numbers speak for itself.
The numbers do speak.
But look, you have to be able to encourage others. You have to be if you're gonna be the leader.
Well, when they don't understand him in the locker room, then it's not his
But
fault.
I don't know if he has to bring the SAP button or what. He's gonna have to explain it to him. He's got to.
Listen.
Because they can't listen to Reyes. I don't know what he's saying.
There is definitely a language barrier
The
in
problem
the locker room.
is extreme
language
that needs to
problem
be
isn't
overcome.
David Wright. The problem isn't David Wright being a leader or not being a leader.
I think that's a
because
huge
there's
problem.
plenty of baseball teams out there that don't have that vocal guy.
Well, you know what? You're right. You're right. There's a lot of people that don't. Like the Yankees, they always talk about because Derek Jeter is the leader. I don't think he's that big a vocal guy, but he's respected. They respect Derek Jeter. Whoever comes
Derek
to that
Jeter's also
team,
been in the league for 15
respect it.
years.
Well, even when he was in the league, I'm talking about in like 2000s, early 2000s.
That's still 5 years.
It was like 5 years.
in the league.
David Wright's been in the league how long now?
About 6 years.
6 years. So what are you talking about? It's clear cut that he's the leader of this. He's the face of the franchise. Whenever you get a poster of the Mets anywhere, is David Wright on the cover? What are we talking about here?
I actually have one of those fat heads.
So do I.
Exactly. It's a David Wright fat head.
So do I.
Yeah, it's definitely a David Wright fat head.
So why you telling me that he can't get in somebody? He can't sell. He can't yell at Frank Rodriguez.
That's
Hey,
not his style.
Well, what is his style? I'll just do me. That's all it is. I just do me.
I'm gonna do me.
That's all it sounds like he is doing.
If you can't like what's the famous phrase? A leopard can't change its spots.
A leopard can't change the spots. We're not
Isn't
talking about
that
the
it?
animal kingdom here. We're talking about Major League Baseball. I know. I get what you're saying. I'm just,
Slap you. Wish there was nothing here to block me from jumping over.
He
here.
just wanted to seem extra witty.
Just
I
gonna
did.
knock you out as soon as
That's
the show's
all.
over.
That's all. Just
No,
wanted to-
listen. You can't blame David Wright for being who he is. That's who he is. He's quiet. You gonna hate on him because he's?
I
quiet?
mean, I do understand.
No, yeah, I do. I understand.
You
where
know
he's coming
why
from.
Mr. Easton is being so adamant about it, because I know, if I were ever to get frustrated with anything, I'll come to a boiling point, and basically what he's trying to get at is who, what, where, when, somebody in the locker room. When are they gonna get to their boiling point with the constant losing and the direction, which is not good for
I don't
where the
think you
Mets
can
are
blame
going.
the players for this. I really don't. I really don't. I think it comes from the top. It comes with the owners being cheap. It comes with Omar Minaya thinking that every move he makes is a genius move, and then he messes it up. And it comes from Jerry Manuel. If anybody has to fire this team up, it's Jerry Manuel. If you want to talk about, I mean, you talk about, he was more fired up when Willie Randolph was the manager. And then once he got that job, all of a sudden he wants to be laid back, and he wants to give guys a day off here and there, and he wants to be cautious. I mean, the Mets have 68 wins. What are you doing giving guys a day off? Play out the season and just go away. You know, if you want to talk about somebody firing somebody up, talk about Jerry Manuel.
Jerry Manuel should be fired already.
I agree. I agree with you. Jerry Manuel was not a good manager. He is not a good manager.
He won Willie.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what he did. That's what Jerry Manuel does. He's like all he does is have really long post game interviews and laugh. That's what he brings to the table.
He's so good at it.
And before he took over the job, I thought he was Spanish. I had no idea he was black.
Well, I don't know how that affects the.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying how that affects anything.
Thought I'd throw that in there.
Well,
But the point is, if you want to blame somebody, blame Omar Minaya, blame the Wilpons, blame Jerry Manuel. There's nothing more that I want like right now than for Jerry Manuel to get fired and for the Mets to bring up Wally Backman to coach, because Wally Backman will kick the crap out of somebody on this team. I swear, and I would anticipate that. I'm loving that. I'm so hoping that they bring in Wally Backman just so he can crack somebody in the face after they don't run out a pop fly. I'm tired of Omar Minaya bringing in these guys like what. I understand why they brought in Luis Castillo that first year, because Luis Castillo that first year was still 32 years old and still had something left. He's got nothing left. All he does is bunt, you know. And if you want to talk about looking forward to the future, the only thing that the Mets have looking forward to the future is all these young guys. Thank God Reyes and Wright are still in their mid-20s, and you got guys like Ike Davis coming up, and Josh Tolley, and Ruben Tejada, and whoever else. All they got to do is find the right pieces. I mean, like I just said, Talouis right now is looking like a really good number 2 hitter, or possibly even a leadoff hitter at this point. But you have Reyes, Talouis, Wright. Tejada's not really hitting, but he's very good defensively. Ike Davis. I mean, you get some corner outfielders in there. Jason Bay's going to come back healthy next year. I'm not saying, there's a lot to look forward to. If Fernando Martinez can stay healthy, that'd be great in center field. But the pitching has been the one consistent thing we've had all year. All we got to do is figure out the bullpen and figure out the little things. Get a manager in here that knows what he's doing.
I definitely agree with you on that one. They definitely need a new manager. They just need a new facelift. This team is just there's nothing exciting.
And I agree with you about them being lax. I do, but I don't put that on David Wright. I don't put that on.
I just
David
feel
Wright
like if you're the leader, you got to be that guy.
I don't think that's true, because not every team has a vocal leader.
Yeah, but not every team plays in New York.
Whether they're successful or not, that shouldn't matter.
This is New York.
No, it shouldn't. That has nothing to do with it, because, like you said, you don't like that about Eli Manning, but Eli Manning still won a Super Bowl being who he is.
Because he had other players on that team that were vocal. He had Michael Strahan that was vocal. He had Antonio Pierce that was vocal. That's just the way I look at it.
So why are you blaming David Wright? Why don't you blame everybody else?
Because what else? Who else is really gonna say anything in that locker room?
Why should David Wright be the one?
That's the only guy. I mean, that's the guy. That's your main gun. That's your main gun.
No, it's not.
He's not your main guy.
Reyes is just as good as Wright.
You can't. Okay, we're not gonna say into that.
No. Reyes is just as good as Wright. Reyes is just. Matter of fact, Reyes is more important to the Mets than David Wright at this point.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna step aside for a break. When we come right back, we're gonna finish this discussion. We're gonna take a CBS News break right now.
CBS News Update, I'm Steve Knight. Control of Congress is at stake in the midterm elections 2 years after President Obama and Democrats swept into office. South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham on NBC's Meet the Press today accused President Obama of being tone deaf to what Americans want.
We need to tell the American people if we get back in control, we're going to check this Obama agenda that has no limits, and we're going to bring about balance by controlling spending, relooking at the health care bill, and trying to be more fiscally responsible.
Mr. Obama's campaign manager from 2008, David Plouffe, also on NBC, concedes that some seats will be lost, but he thinks Democrats will retain control of both the House and the Senate.
If we give the keys back to the people who did this, it'd be like giving Herbert Hoover the keys in the mid-1930s.
CBS News political analyst James Thurber.
We'll see some big names go away, but generally those who are the chairs of the committees, and everyone knows their names, like Waxman and others, will have safe, easy elections.
CBS News Update, I'm Steve Knight.
All right, we are back. Keeping It Real Sports, brought to you by Chat About It Radio and CBSRadio.com. I messed up that a little bit. I understand. You know, gotta have that sometimes. I'm gonna do it again. Keeping It Real Sports on Chat About It Radio, brought to you by CBS Radio. That sounds a lot better. Once again, the number 877-242-8212.
I'm hungry.
Stan is hungry. That's a lot to know, everybody. So, in that case,
I can use a frap.
You can use a frap. We're probably gonna try that a little later. How about that?
Caramel frap.
Caramel frap. We're gonna have might be a barbecue later, so we'll check that out.
Might be.
All right.
Yeah,
here's the thing.
It's a definite.
Here's a definite, but here's the thing we're gonna bring up now. Your boy.
Yeah, yes, David Wright is my boy.
David Wright, you
Man
stated that he doesn't have to say this. Well, actually, it's a good thing that you brought this up, because there was an article written on KeepingItRealSports.com by Stanley Fritz on the situation of needing a fire starter. And, he said the same thing basically I was saying. David Wright would have to be the guy. You need somebody to really be,
Why? Why David Wright?
Because it's just that because he's the best player. That's the way we always look at it.
I disagree.
You don't think he's the best player?
No.
Who's the best player?
I think Jose Reyes is more important to the Mets in terms of his game than the Mets. I mean, than David Wright.
Well, we'll see.
Jose Reyes, you can get players like David Wright all over the league. Every team has a player like David Wright. Not every team has a player like Jose Reyes. You can't replace Jose Reyes.
No,
I think you can't replace him. So I think personally,
because of his versatility.
Right. No one in the league can do what he does.
So far, he can't do it because he's never been healthy. He can't stay healthy.
That's not true.
Then what's going on this year?
I'm not saying you saying he's never been healthy. He's been healthy. This year he's not. Last year he wasn't either.
All right. Well, we're gonna stay off the Mets because we can stay on this train wreck for a while. But what we're gonna do is go.
I don't see why it has to be David Wright.
Another problem. Another situation that's brewing in boxing. my boy, Floyd Mayweather Jr.
It's about time you claim somebody.
Right?
Pushing everybody else is your
Yeah,
boy,
your boy
this, your boy that.
This is the boy episode. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
I
has
want-
Lincoln
I want
jumps
you to.
quickly back to discuss this
All right,
situation.
Okay, let's talk about this guy that everyone praise and love. Actually, every urban and city.
Real quick,
they
before
love,
you continue,
they love this guy.
you realize that the same people, a lot of the same people that like Mayweather are the same people that voted for Obama because he's black?
Well,
Because
really?
they like.
You into this?
I
I'm
know
just-
that.
Is this
just
really
kinda-
happening right now?
No,
Really
no,
going
you-
into this-
No,
how
no,
did
we're
this
going
come up
deep
in
in this
discussion?
because I don't like Mayweather and I don't like how certain people stand up for him just because he's the only one that he's so flashy and he's so nice.
I don't stand up
that he
for him
faces
because of
people
that. I
that's
just
past his prime. He's gonna watch. He's gonna want to fight Pacquiao when he's like 50 and he's like 55.
Like,
so they
now
both
I'm
can't
ready
say
to
that.
fight him.
I mean, you're making him sound like he's Mason the Lion Dixon right now. That's the way
He
you're making
fights
him sound.
everyone. Name the last person he fought
In their prime.
in the prime. What, Zab Judah?
Well, Judah wasn't really anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Judah's a street fighter. That's all he is really. But
No, he's a Dipset soldier. That's what he is.
that's a step
That-
lower.
Well, all right,
That's a
let's-
step
let's-
lower. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to bring it down.
Let's break down the video that he had online.
Yes. Okay, can we pull it up? Is it on?
No, because that's too much curses in it.
Oh, well, that's why we're just showing the footage.
Yeah, but it's just like nothing of him on the phone.
Well, we're just showing the footage to talk about it a little bit.
You know what?
Why are we talking about this?
That's my last words because Mayweather.
Go ahead, say what you gotta say.
Just
and
say
then-
what you gotta say. and come back.
Mayweather needs to go somewhere else. If you're gonna fight, fight. If you're not gonna fight, shut up. Get your money. Stop talking. Feed your kids. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing else. You're not doing nothing else for the sport anymore.
I
Very
agree.
passionate about that.
I agree 100%.
Here's the way I look at it. Now, the racial, what I'm going to break down is the racial slurs that he threw at Manny Pacquiao, which I was not a fan of. Actually, I think he loses more fans by doing this.
Just claim that that's your boy, though.
No, you know what? I feel like he got fans because of that. Because the people that do like him are those kind of classless fans that
me?
we don't need. Classless,
I am
yes.
not classless, sir.
No. Listen, but here's my thing about with Mayweather. Mayweather does not respect the sport. Mayweather doesn't respect the sport. He can talk all he wants
I
about.
think he's turning it into a circus in the sense that he's making it seem like this is the WWE. I'm gonna be the bad guy. Everybody's gonna boo me, and that's why that when the fight happens, he's gonna hype up the money. The money's gonna be big for this one now. Pacquiao's gonna be the good guy. Everybody's gonna root for Pacquiao. Mayweather's gonna come out as the bad guy, the heel. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it looks like it's gonna be, and he's promoting it that way.
If they fight, Pacquiao is going to knock him out. I guarantee that. I personally guarantee that.
I'm so with you there.
I
But
mean,
you know what? That's gonna be Mayweather's last fight. I guarantee it.
that's fine. Leave boxing.
He'll probably fight Roy Jones next.
That's fine. Boxing is better without him. Honestly, I can't stand him. He's a great fighter. In terms of overall skill, he's a great fighter. But I can't stand his attitude because, first off, his whole thing about being undefeated, being 41-0, and this, that, and the other thing. Let me ask you a question, Ed.
Yes.
I don't know if you're the biggest boxing fan. I don't think you're the biggest boxing
No,
fan.
I'm
as
probably
a lot
not
of
as
other
big
guys.
as you. Yeah.
Who would you say is the greatest fighter of all time?
Ali.
How many losses does Ali have on his record?
He has a couple of losses on his record.
More than a couple. He's
Yeah.
got about 5 losses on
Yes,
his record.
but a lot of them were when he was past his prime.
Some of them were in this prime.
True.
Now, does having 5 losses on his record make him any less of a fighter?
No.
Is he still considered by the consensus greatest of
You know
all
why
time?
he's the greatest of all time? Because he fought the best.
Exactly.
That's what made him.
Thank you very much.
I admit that he fought
Now,
the best.
why is
I
it
never
that
called.
most
I
Mayweather?
never called Mayweather the greatest of all time. That's
Why?
I never called him
But
that.
there are Mayweather fans out there that swear he's like I'm almost I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard someone tell me that Mayweather said that he feels like he's better than Ali.
Well, Mayweather's an idiot. There's no way you can make that comparison. I
I
mean,
don't understand how this is your boy. And you're just,
well, here's the thing. I like the way he fights. When he does fight in the ring, he's good. You understand what I'm saying? He's really a good fight. He's a good fighter.
So basically, it's the outside the ring antics.
Yeah, I've never said I was a big fan of him outside the ring. I always told you before when he did that WWE crap out there was stupid. When he's in the ring, the guy handles his business. There's never any doubt in that. And can we agree on that? When
Yeah.
he's in the ring, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. When he's in the ring, he handles his business.
I count 4 fights that he's had against legitimate fighters. When he fought, let me see, I got it in front of me right here. Diego Corrales in 2001. Legitimate fight. I remember that one. What else? You got Arturo Gatti. Legitimate fight in 05.
The Arturo Gatti died?
Zab-
Is he the one that died?
Yeah.
Was that Kasazu? Arturo Gatti died or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zab Judah. I give him that only because Zab Judah's a big name, and I mean he's not a horrible fighter. I'll give him Carlos Baldomir, and then matter of fact, just to throw him a bone, I'll give him De La Hoya. That's 4, maybe 5 fights in his entire career where I can say he fought someone at their prime or just past their prime. Ricky Hatton was past his prime. Marquez past his prime. Mosley past their prime. Way past his prime. And I mean, come on. And this is a guy who wants to talk about, oh, I'm better than this person, I'm better than this person because I'm 41-0. And then he goes and he does this rant and just starts spewing all this nonsense. He sat there and had the nerve to say Pacquiao's name isn't even Manny, it's Emmanuel.
Yeah, that was
idiot.
It's the same thing.
Manny is short for Emmanuel.
Yeah, that was dumb. I remember that.
What do they call Emmanuel Stewart everywhere? Manny. Come on. How dumb can you be? And then to spit racial slurs, to talk about his background, talking about I'm gonna barbecue him with cats and dogs.
Yeah, that was.
I'm gonna make him a sushi roll.
That was horrible.
Come on,
that was horrible.
I'm gonna cook him with rice. How does? No.
Don't say it's that's your boy, remember?
But listen, I told you. What, are you not paying attention?
Well, you
okay. Anyway, check this out. I thought it was terrible, and I felt like I lost a lot of respect for him during that. And what do you think boxing is gonna say? Cause they have to actually step in and say something.
They can't say anything. They really can't.
Stream and
they can't say anything.
They really can't. He went too far.
I know he did, but the boxing really can't say anything. Boxing can't say anything because at the end of the day, it's free speech. He can say whatever the hell he wants. Nobody said anything about. Granted, it was more entertaining and it was more of a. It was more of an entertainment factor, like when Ali used to do stuff like this. But when Ali did it, he had respect for his opponent, and you can see that Mayweather has no respect. And you want to talk about Mayweather saying, "Oh, his name isn't even Manny." Floyd's given name is Floyd Sinclair.
I know.
Come on, his birth name is Floyd Sinclair. That's his mother's last name. He took his dad's last name because his dad was a great fighter.
What's his nationality?
Who?
Mayweather.
I don't know. Something down south.
Something down south.
You know those non.
He's Atlantean.
He's an AT alien.
AT alien. Yeah.
You know those. No, well, actually, he's from Vegas, but. Listen, man, and it's just it goes his dad too. Just no respect whatsoever. Like he's from Michigan. There you go. He's from Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan. You know, it's just like, how does that make the sport any better? And I understand what you're saying about wanting to be the bad guy, but he didn't have to do this to be the bad guy. He didn't have to. And I mean, like, honestly, and I can't. You got to give credit to Pacquiao for not even responding in a certain way. He's a
political figure.
Right. Pacquiao pretty much said it just shows a lack of education, and he's just not smart. What's the point? First you say you don't want to fight the guy unless he takes the test. Then the guy agrees to take the test, and you say, I don't want to fight him anymore. Come on, man.
I hear what you're saying. It's going to be a very interesting situation to see how it plays out. I mean, I'm not going to have any guarantees. I don't think anybody really knows how I want to hear Pacquiao's response.
Pacquiao really didn't have a response.
That's what I really want to hear is his response. It's childish. It's very immature from a grown man. And we're going to see how it goes down. It's going to make the fight seem even more juicier because they're going to show clips of it every 5 minutes.
Right.
On every station that is talking about it. So I'm really going to look forward to it. It's going to be a heck of a fight. And boxing needs a jolt. They do need a jolt. Even though it's negative publicity, it's still publicity.
Look, I'll say this.
There's no such thing as bad press.
I always say this. Every generation has that one fight that you can say in your life, you'll always remember where you were. Our parents can say, they remember where
Ali
they were.
Frazier or
Ali Frazier.
Foreman, yeah.
Right. Any of those. You know, our grandparents' generation can say they remember where they were for Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano.
Yeah.
You know, what's ours?
Well, we had Lewis and Tyson, but Lewis and Tyson didn't really
Honestly,
live up to
let's
it.
be real. Tyson Lewis was overhyped, and it didn't match the hype at all.
Definitely.
I was not excited for Tyson Lewis because Tyson was past his prime, and when Tyson was good, I was young.
Yeah.
I was really too young to really grasp the situation. Tyson Buster Douglas didn't hold his weight because Buster Douglas won.
By luck.
Tyson was jet lagged.
Exactly.
You know, I remember the fights. Don't get me wrong. I remember the fights. I remember watching them. The only fight in my life I can say I remember where I was maybe Foreman when he won at 45. But I don't remember who he beat.
Me neither.
We haven't had that fight yet.
So you think Pacquiao and Mayweather would be the fight?
Pacquiao Mayweather would be the fight of our generation where I can say I remember exactly where I was. And I've been planning this for a while, and I said if that fight gets planned, I don't care where it is, I'm going.
All right. I agree with you on that one.
But you know what I'm saying? That's our fight of the generation. We need that. And what it comes down to is Mayweather is afraid of Pacquiao. That's what it is.
All right. Well,
he's afraid of him. He's afraid of him. He doesn't want to fight him. That's why he came up with this whole stuff with everything about the drug testing. That's why he's doing all this stuff about going on Ustream. This is all he's trying to play the I'm the aggressor, but you have to chase me kind of thing. You know, as aggressive as I am, as aggressive as I'm being, you still have to come to me for the fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right, well, here's what we're going to do right now. Since we have a couple more minutes left in the show, we're going to go to Lincoln's This or That segment. And Lynx, are you ready? We'll let him walk to the mic and let's get it set up right now. He has a very slow, majestic. You see this, right? Very slow, majestic walk he does.
Thank you for telling me this.
Graceful.
Now.
We actually did say that it was going to be coming up soon.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I just have to say to my fellow, send that to me. Anyway, yeah, as I start this off, but only quick and couple ones, right here. Who's more which was, since you just talked about Mayweather, which was more convincing, Mayweather's apology of he just said he's just having fun, or Chris Brown's acting in The Takers?
What was more what?
Convincing.
See, now with Chris Brown's acting in Takers, he said because he does his own stunts. That's the big thing, right?
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah.
I mean,
about 90%.
90%.
I say 90% too.
But here's the thing with him. When I'm watching the whole Takers thing, him jumping off of cars and falling on cars, falling on things, and running for 20 minutes. I don't know anybody in real life that could get away from the cops running for 20 minutes, falling off of buildings, falling onto cars, getting hit by cars, and still keep going. I can't really. I'm not convinced by that.
He didn't really fall. He repelled himself.
He bounced his body.
That's
You know anybody? Really? This is something that's normal. Have you done it before?
Have you not seen
That's
parkour?
why it's a movie, sir.
I'm sorry.
Have you not seen parkour?
Parkour. What are you talking about?
You never heard of parkour? Parkour is I'll look up the actual definition.
Well,
while you continue.
Well, here's the thing. Chris Brown just didn't feel very convinced that could really happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. He fell. He jumped out of buildings, man.
Repelled.
It doesn't matter. He bounced off of cars and off the pavement. The pavement does not give.
All right, sir. Parkour is the physical discipline of training to overcome any obstacle within one's path by adapting one's movements to the environment.
So you really think
Chris Brown?
So when Chris Brown was running away in Takers, he had all this in his mind. He was going to parkour my way to safety.
Yeah, you didn't remember what was that movie in that French movie, District 13 or whatever it was?
District 9?
No. That was the other one.
South Africa. I'm sorry.
That was the alien one.
Yeah,
the District 13 where they're like doing all those crazy moves and jumping through windows and all that stuff.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
What you're talking about.
But which is more convincing, Mayweather's apology?
I haven't seen Takers, but I would go with Chris Brown's role in Takers because I don't believe a word Mayweather says. I don't care. I don't care.
Just because he's going against Mayweather, I'm going to go with Chris Brown, even though I feel like he just cannot. His body is not meant to be like that. And
even though I wasn't even talking about the saying, his acting was pretty horrible.
He walked under his own power.
Party.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
That's why they just kept him with the action.
Yes, yes.
And Jeff, what is the best part? The best part that he did?
Can you stop doing it? We're gonna have to teach Ed how to do this because he's just not doing it right.
I'm sorry, if it really has to be a right way to do it, then there's something wrong with society. I'm just saying. It's not that serious. It's not that serious.
Anyway, which release was bigger? Matt Leinart or T.I. and Tiny from jail?
Yeah, this is actually a good one.
I gotta go with
T.I. and Tiny because it's amazing how
T.I.'s going away for a good one.
Just got out of jail.
Got out of jail. So the fact that he's went back and is out right now, that was an amazing release. It was amazing.
He's going back. He got to check if he violated probation.
It's possible. It's either they can extend his probation and give him.
They sent him back to Atlanta.
Drug to do drug counseling courses.
Yeah.
And more community service, or they can just revoke that and put him back into jail.
I can't wait for Road to Redemption Part 2.
maybe it might just start T.I. because if anything, Tiny might take the fall.
You know what? If Tiny, that's a ride or die. If she do it,
she is a ride or die.
She's gotta be a ride or die to do that.
I think she is. She looks like a ride or die.
She's got the face for it.
Baby, it's your turn. It's your turn.
Get up, shouty.
Baby, it's your turn.
I believe that. So it's a consensus that T.I. from jail is a bigger release.
Oh man. T.I. from jail. I feel sorry. I can't even feel. He's stupid. He's stupid.
I mean, it wasn't just regular marijuana. He had pills that look like ecstasy. And I mean, that's just things that you don't deal with when you get out of jail. Say that you're gonna be a better man.
Yo, you better redo his album.
I mean, he did.
Anymore.
He did. Oh,
recaged, repackaged.
He did say that jail made him worse. So saying that, I think that
they're gonna use his album for evidence.
Yeah. So
I was popping pills in the cell.
It's pretty bad.
Next one.
Next one is bigger news: the cuts in the NFL or the Jay-Z Eminem concert in Detroit at Connecticut Park.
I think the cuts in the NFL because not really many people knew about the one in Detroit. We know about the one coming up at Yankee Stadium.
Well, that's because we know that because we were in New York, but I believe they had the same amount of commercials, same amount of airtime in Detroit.
No one cares about Detroit.
Huh?
No one cares about Detroit.
It's Comerica Park, right?
Yeah, it's
no one cares for Comerica Park.
I mean, Eminem does.
If it was Comiskey, we were talking. I mean, Comiskey doesn't exist anymore.
So?
Yeah, you're right. So the cuts in the NFL is the final one.
Red Bromar getting cut is more important than them in Detroit.
Oh, that's kind of messed up. Man.
That's messed up. That is
It's true though.
The last one is what is more dominant right now? Sharapova, 6 love over the 18-year-old Capra, or Machete being number 1 as currently right now in the box office.
I can't believe Machete. You know how long that movie's been planned? The movie was in the works 14 years ago. When they first did Desperado. When Robert Rodriguez first did Desperado and
he wanted to do this 14 years ago.
14 years ago. And then when Planet Terror came out, they did the fake trailer. And normally you don't do a trailer until after the movie's set.
Yeah.
After the movie's done.
Mm-hmm.
So like this movie's been in the works for 14 years. I can't believe it's number 1. I don't understand that.
It's like Avatar, man. Avatar, it took him 14 years. He wanted to make Avatar before Titanic. So Machete is like Robert Rodriguez.
So he wouldn't make Avatar before Titanic. So how did he get lost along the way during the process of Avatar to say I'm gonna make a love story about people on the Titanic? How did he do that?
Because
how does that come about?
He didn't have the technology. He wanted to have a love story on a planet before, on a distant planet, before he had a love story on a boat.
On an ill-fated boat.
He tested it out first.
Tested which love story is gonna be greater, and it looked like right now Avatar won. Actually, no, Titanic won.
I think that should be the next question. What's a better love story, Titanic or Avatar?
Now here's the thing: with Titanic, you were dealing with a poor boy, just got the ticket to get on the thing, messing around with the rich chick.
Avatar, you got a guy with no legs.
Getting legs.
He had no legs. That was pretty different, yeah.
Come on, Avatar.
And they were like 10-foot monsters.
Right, Avatar beats out.
Yeah,
Titanic,
because that's cliche. Titanic is a little cliche.
Did you hear? And this might sound a little disturbing.
And
but
then
on the re-release, it's back in theaters, right?
Yes, and
they actually, they have that. I heard they showing like the extra parts of the love scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want to see that.
I might want to see it. I'm just gonna be honest.
I'm not opposed.
I'm going to be honest. As a curiosity, I want to see how the other type of species adapt.
I'm not.
And how they
I'm
perform
not
these type of acts.
species. I'm not really,
Who played the chick again?
Zoe Saldana.
I'm in.
But Zoe, she's covered in blue.
I'm in.
She's blue and she's
I'm in.
10 foot tall.
She could be green and 20 feet tall. I'm in.
Speaking of Zoe Saldana, I know this might be a little off. She did not. I think they could have saved money on Takers.
They did not need her in there.
No.
Yeah.
She was in it?
She played a good corpse.
Thanks for spoiling.
Thanks for ruining it.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler.
Damn it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
All right.
So it was Sharapova or Machete, which is
I gotta give it.
more-
I gotta
more
give
dominant?
it to Sharapova because
Yeah,
I don't
Sharapova.
understand why Machete is number one. Machete.
I'm gonna go with Sharapova.
Danny Trejo took 20. It took him 20 years and 200 movies to get his own feature.
But he was actually a criminal, though. He was actually
He's always a criminal.
He was like a worker for a drug lord, and he went to jail in Mexico. He's really
That doesn't surprise me.
He's playing the part that he knows very well. Like how Snoop plays in The Wire. Like they play their parts very well because they have experience.
I love
these
the
things.
comparison.
No, yeah, Snoop in the Wire was just.
They're-
She wasn't acting. She was
This
being.
is real life.
She acts the same way off
Danny
camera.
She wasn't acting. She was being.
She doesn't need to say cut.
Yeah, it's like cut. What?
Danny Trejo really is playing his position and also I heard that Lindsay Lohan has a nudity scene in there.
Well, I'm seeing it.
All right, well, here's my question now.
Well, so Sharapova is the winner, guys.
Sharapova.
She's the winner.
All right, Sharapova's the winner.
Very dominant.
You know, Robert Rodriguez, I can never get into his movies because they're just too crazy.
Yeah,
just
they
too
are.
crazy. They're too crazy. They're like, wow. You
Because
know, like, really, dude?
He really takes it back in the days where Grindhouse really was full frontal nudity and like gore.
They just, like, don't have any censorship at all. I mean, I understand.
He doesn't.
It's too much at times, you know? Sometimes they OD.
Like, let me chop your eyeballs out.
Yeah,
five
like,
pieces.
come on, man. Like, really? Like, I don't need to see all that. That's
I mean,
my movie theater
look,
experience, I don't want to have to see that.
I don't
I'm just
know.
saying.
So you won, Sharapova. Give it up for you. Defeating an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah. Winner. But
Leader.
Point guard.
Point guard. Okay. Well, real quick. A quick note.
LeBron James
Because we are
for that
running
one.
down on time.
Yeah, I'm going to.
We're running out of show right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He hasn't said that in like
He said
a
that in a
year.
while. Running out of show. We definitely are. And want to quick mention the WNBA Eastern Conference Finals start Monday. Actually, no, tonight. I'm sorry, tonight.
Oh, the
It's gonna
Eastern
be
Conference
Eastern
Finals
Conference
start
Finals tonight.
Who's playing?
Big game. New York Liberty is in the Garden. New York Liberty versus the Dream. So check that Atlanta Dream.
Oh,
Big
it's Atlanta
game.
Dream?
Yes.
I wonder how the Dream feels about that.
Anyway, we're gonna see that game. It's gonna be tonight.
That's a solid question.
The
I
Dream.
don't know why.
Yeah, really, the Dream is gonna be
Well,
upset over a
No,
WNBA
not upset.
franchise.
I thought he would be kind of happy that women that he sings for are actually going to be playing for his name. The
Oh, in
Dream.
Atlanta. Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
'cause
Okay.
he's from Atlanta. He is
How
from
do you
Atlanta.
not like Robert Rodriguez movies?
I don't. It's just.
Desperado? Really?
No, I like Desperado.
That wasn't too gory.
Desperado wasn't
From
that
Dusk
gory.
Till Dawn?
But he made movies that some of them like the Grindhouse stuff.
The
was-
Faculty?
He made Spy Kids.
Spy Kids and Spy Kids 2 and
That
Spy Kids
didn't,
3.
I didn't understand that. That was
Kill
a very.
Bill Volume 2. Sin City. Death Proof. Come on,
Him and
Predators.
Tarantino are crazy.
Tarantino's a great director.
I didn't say he was. That doesn't mean he's sane.
You know,
love
I
him.
can't get enough of Inglourious Bastards. Can't get enough of it.
Yeah, he's a great
Can't
man.
get enough.
All right, that's how you feel about
I
it.
can watch it every day. I was watching it
But
this
shout
morning.
out to WNBA.
Yes.
It's the Liberty and the Dream, and also on the other side, Western Conference side, is going to
Yes.
be.
Seattle, taking on Phoenix, I believe.
You know, I always for the past 5 years, I always thought the Sparks would be winning every championship, and
No,
they haven't.
They're not that good because they've been hurt. Candace Parker's been hurt. A lot of their star players have been hurt.
What injury is she out with, by the way?
Not gonna discuss it, but she was out with an injury.
I just know that she was
Just wondering.
pregnant by her husband,
Williams.
Sheldon Williams. Wow, Sheldon Williams. And he got.
Imagine what their kid's
How
gonna
does
look like.
Sheldon Williams get that?
Because he's tall and he makes a lot of money.
No,
for doing
Well,
nothing.
he does not make a lot of money.
Well, all
Makes
right,
more money than she does.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes, because sadly
fault.
because of the WNBA and their funds, but still, Sheldon Williams. Like I think a lot of people in the NBA would maybe wanted to talk to her, but they never knew that Sheldon Williams, out of all people,
She's a tall drink
He
of
has a
water.
great
I don't know if I could,
personality.
she looks pretty good.
she wasn't so damn tall. I'd probably.
No, I
All
think
right.
you can.
I don't think we're gonna discuss how
you can
hot
climb a ladder.
Candace Parker is. Who's
She's
married,
like
mind
6'4",
you.
right?
Well, like we don't talk about married people. People talk about Beyonce all the time. She's married to Jay-Z.
That's different.
That's messed up. That's messed up.
How's that messed
I
up?
can't talk about Candace Parker, but you can talk
Oh, wait,
about
she
Beyonce.
had the kid.
Yeah, she had the
She has a
She
kid.
did do that.
That's why she didn't play.
Last year. Or was it 2 years ago? I
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Layla Nicole Williams.
Yeah.
7 pounds 6 ounces.
Can't
That's
make
a
that
big
stuff up.
baby.
Wow.
Well, look at their parents.
That's a good point.
It's like Yao Ming's parents. They're both basketball players as well, and I wonder how much. he was.
Solid point.
So we're gonna wrap the show up. I want to thank everybody for listening. A lot of interesting stuff we said. Once again, listen to us on the replays on chatabout.com. It's part of the CBS New York local site as well. So keepitrealsports.com to see the video replays, right, Lynx?
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course, definitely. So check
You're
that
not gonna
out.
disrespect me on air like that, though.
Also, check us out next week. We will be live once again. You'll be listening to Keep It a Real Sports here on Chat About It Radio, powered by CBS Radio. Have a great Labor Day, everybody.
Thank you.